Chief, welcome, my friend. Right now we're waiting on Al. I don't know where he is, but it's going to be me and you for a minute, shooting,
Woo!
shooting back and forth at each other here. We got a burner of a match coming up tonight potentially between Hostile Actions and Visionary. I'm excited. What about you?
Oh, I am too. I'm so hyped. I was talking to Abadou from Visionary just a few minutes ago, and I have to say this. They have some strategies. They've been practicing. They had a rough start in week number 1, but that's all about to change here now. I can't give anything away, but just be prepared. If you're Team Visionary, be ready to start cheering for your team in all chat.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table because I think that first week they were still working with some synergy things because they were still a relatively, I wouldn't say new roster. They've been together for a while, but they were new to SCS. They had a couple different players, things like that. So I'm excited to see what they bring in. And Hostile Actions, they put up a really good showing against Pride, and Pride was just a team that was frag out and pretty much that was the name of their game. So I think Hostile Actions and Visionary is going to be a really strong matchup. Oh, and are you seeing what I'm seeing, Chief? I see our second theme park of the night.
But I see a banned consulate, so I'm not that happy.
Okay,
Bring me consulate theme park. That's all the chief wants to see. My 2 favorite maps. I gotta say, I do enjoy theme park. It is the second newest addition to the competitive pool, and we've kind of reached the part where a lot of attacking teams and the attacking meta has caught up with the defending meta. So we tend to see games be a little bit more even. Now, maybe the exception to the rule is that INC game versus 1A that we currently saw, but maybe we'll see a closer game. Maybe we won't. The problem with theme park is a lot of teams really don't have it in their map pool. A lot of teams are very comfortable on 3 maps alone. And in this best of 2 system where 1 map or 2 maps are automatically banned, you have to have a very deep map pool. It has to be 5 maps in that pool. And a lot of rosters, they just don't have that as of yet.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, T3 is one of those areas of Siege where you find your comfortable places and you sort of stick with those. Not to say that every team does this, especially when you see higher tier T3 hedging on T2, like a lot of our teams are in this league. It can be a little bit stagnant on the lower ends of those things. But I'm excited with what we're seeing so far, and that's why I love having the auto ban system come out, is just because it gives you a lot of opportunity to see stuff you don't normally see. So we might actually see some consulate, Chief, this season. I know we only saw it about twice last season, but hopefully.
And it, honestly, consulate just falls in that it's the 7th map in most teams' pool. It's most teams' auto ban. Now, the thing is, Visionary is actually a master of consulate. They played it last week, so that's why it's no longer a factor here. But they're very good on it. Doesn't matter what league they're playing and what team that they're actually playing against. They tend to actually bring that map out a lot. And maybe in future play weeks, we're actually going to see teams default ban that against Visionary, not because they're uncomfortable with it, but they actually want to counter-strike actively. That's a potential that a lot of rosters have.
Yeah, really good point there, Chief, for sure. I mean, a lot of teams, if you can sort of save those strategies or work up, workarounds, I guess is a good way. That's awesome to see from these level of teams. So we're going to go ahead and kick over to the stats, which is actually a very helpful tool for a lot of these teams to use when they're developing counters here in SCS, which is what I love so much about our league here. This is Hostile Actions. Coming in from last week, and again they were up against Pride, so the team that was very hyper aggressive, so their stats might not exactly reflect exactly who these players are, but just Dom, or Dom for short, what a way to go against a team like Pride. Went +7. He had an opening kill still, which is phenomenal, and his cost rating was very, very valuable to his team. So we're looking for him to take the lead against this roster, and literally everyone else has a 0.81 player rating, so that's kind of funny. I've never seen that happen quite yet.
Now, we were talking about getting those opening kills. Well, Limbo is the individual that does that. Now, he might have a negative overall rating, but he was still getting the majority of opening kills for his team. And that's something that you're going to have to look for in this matchup. If he's able to still snowball those opening kills in his favor, that might be exactly what's needed to shut down Visionary. In week number 1, it was Defiance from Lycus Empire that was doing that. They were basically preventing anything from Visionary. They couldn't enter through a window. They couldn't enter through a doorway. Why? Well, there's an aggressive player of Lycus Empire shutting that down. If Hostile Action has done their due diligence and they're able to use Limbo as a weapon, they could really bloody some noses in week number 2.
I would 100% have to agree with you there, and I think that's the valuable part of having the YouTube up now, which I'm going to rep it a little bit. Go check that out because it's got all the VODs from this season up on that, so definitely take a peek. But here we are, Visionary, coming in, all the players looking very strong. Mai, who is their soft support player, had a little bit of a rough week last week, but we're looking for him to, take control this game as well and sort of get back on the horse. But I think all of these players have the potential to absolutely frag out, especially like what you were saying earlier, Chief. You talked to Abadu and they said that they had something special ready for us tonight. So what are your impressions from this team? Anybody to watch out for? Anything you need to point out?
I know Mai had a rough showing in week number 1, but he is a young gunner. He's mechanically gifted. I think he was a little bit nervous in week 1, but he's my highlight pick. He's the one coming in for Momo, who is playing during qualifiers. So I want to see him perform. I know he's capable of performing. Maybe week 1 jitters are out. It's in the rubbish bin, and now it's his turn to shine.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, being an ex-competitive player myself and yourself as well, you have to remember, like, oh yeah, it can be rough a little bit sometimes, coming in on a new league, on a big stage, things like that. So we've got 10 more weeks, including this game right here, for him to come back onto that horse and really prove himself there. But let's go ahead and take a look again at some operator statistics that we've seen throughout week number 1. Starting out, I believe it's going to be with the attackers. Chief, I know we talked about this earlier before match number 1, but what do you like or dislike about this here?
Utility consumption simulator, hello. Oh my god, Zofia Ash. I mean, you have to bring them in every single lineup, right? The entire defensive team is going to have Wamai shields, ADSs, pretty much everything that stops your explosive devices are going to be in the round. So you're going to have to answer it back with your own explosives. Zofia, Ash, as well as Maverick with a set of frag grenades, Sledge with a set of frag grenades. Like, the entire meta is pretty much showed in this entire screen.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just such a oppressive meta, I would say, for the attackers. Honestly, I think it's a very defender-sided meta, and that's why we see a lot of 4-2 splits come out most of the time, is just because, these attackers have so many ways to sort of clear these ADSs, blow up shields, blow up utility. But looking at the defenders, it's very much the same way. It's a lot of gadgets, particularly that Jaeger, 100% of the time, all 144 rounds of week number 1, he was brought to the table, which is a very, very stark contrast to the attackers. But honestly, I don't know what to say about this. It's just crazy right now with the way Siege is going. They keep adding more gadgets to the game, which almost seems like they're against the attackers at this point. But what do you think, Chief?
Honestly, what surprises me most about this entire screen is the fact that Wamai is so low. I mean, 52% seems low to me. Now, that might be the ban that he gets coming through, but you have to have Jaeger Wamai. Like, that is meta defining. They are basically like peanut butter and jelly. You put them together on a sandwich and it's tasty. The problem is the current meta isn't tasty. It leaves a really bad taste in most players' mouths. And well, let's dive over to the predictions. And no surprise there, it's all INC across the board, and it seems very accurate since they ended up winning that engagement and that round.
Yeah, In Control, I think, was just the favorite going into it, just because the roster has such a strong history of, taking dominant victories. And First Attempt is still a new team on the scene, but they proved themselves really well tonight. I mean, they've had to play 2 of the top teams in SCS in their first 2 weeks alone, with Wichita Wolves in week number 1, and then obviously In Control just now. But we'll see if that's going to change going on forward, because they put up an amazing showing, and they took 7 rounds total against those guys. And looking at the second matchup, the one that you and I are actually going to be casting together, Chief, it looks like it's going to be Visionary taking a clean sweep in the predictions. But honestly, I know from my standpoint, the decision was very tough for me who to choose on this one. It was very tough on almost every single one of these matchups, exactly who is going to win. So I think we might potentially see another overtime match here coming up. What do you think?
I'm expecting 12 rounds. I always expect 12 rounds. Both of these rosters are phenomenal, and I'll never count anybody out. And I hate doing predictions. I think I said this on Twitter. Predictions are the hardest thing to do, because especially when you're friends with just about all the players, you have to vote against 5 of them, as well as that support staff. And today, I just think Visionary is a better team. Now, they have been making roster changes, and a lot of them at that. And actually, I heard Mai is the substitute. It is now Pixel coming on through, which means it's going to be even more question marks. There are question marks in week number 1. There are question marks here again in week number 2. And we really don't know how Visionary is going to perform. We've seen them perform with this core 4-man roster before, especially during qualifiers, and they looked unstoppable.
Oh, yeah, I would have to agree with you there, Chief. But let's take a look over at the team statistics going on. Obviously, these are going to be changing a little bit for In Control and then First Attempt later on, just because we had some games today. But currently, the standout for me from a lot of these teams is going to be Goria from Emergence with the positive 16 kill differential, and then Devil as well, who has the same 1.43 player rating as Goria. So both of them looking very strong after week number 1. Chief, who's your favorite so far?
My friend Goria is a monster. He's the Ash main. He's also a smoke main. The man just clicks heads. If you're on the receiving end of his gun barrel, you're most likely going to be dead. You never want to be anywhere near them. So he's always my highlight pick in Season 3 and here again in Season 4. But the beauty about Season 4 is all the players are phenomenal. All the teams are phenomenal. They're absolutely brilliant. So I'm expecting all of them to perform at 110%.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about these statistics is you have to realize a team is going to have to win eventually and a team is going to have to lose eventually. And that's just going to mean that some players are going to have more kills and more deaths than others. But all of these players, I would say, are very, very strong. So it's fantastic. And honestly, that's why I love SCS Season 4 so far. And I'm excited for the remainder of what we got going on here. So looks like I think I'm going to be sticking with it. We're still trying to figure that out. Exactly who's going to be casting with you, Chief, for this second match so far. But I kind of hope I get to hop back on the casting horse a little bit. It's been a while for me, but you know, desk hosting has been fun. But I think I can get back on it.
Well, my friend, it is your lucky day. Christmas came early. My co-caster, my beautiful co-caster for the day, his name is Nash. So welcome, my friend, to the casting booth. There's the celebration we need. Who's that owl guy over there in the offline? No, we don't want you here. We want the Sako.
Oh, wow. Okay. Al, if you're watching right now or whatever's going on, man, Chief just called you out.
Woo!
So, uh-oh. we already had a WWE scenario earlier, but May and Putin, so we might have to see another one here. Fight Night SCS version, but it looks like our teams are ready to rock and roll, and so are we. So let's go ahead and hop into map number 1 on Clubhouse. And this is just such a common T3 map. Everyone loves it, except for casters in some cases, just because we play it so often. But it's the first time this week, so I think we'll be okay with it.
Well, our pool isn't that big. We've only had 2 maps before this. So you're right. We haven't played it this week, but there's still plenty of games throughout the week. So we'll probably see it there. Now, this map, as you're highlighting, is kind of bog standard T3. A lot of teams are very comfortable in this map. They have a good understanding of how to attack this map and defend this map. And that translates perfectly over to the bans. We've seen a lot of standard bans throughout Season 3 as well as Season 4. And there is one of those standard bans. It is going to be Thatcher instantaneously removed. Now, he has been nerfed recently. The problem with the nerf is it doesn't matter if the gadgetry is destroyed or turned off. It is still not working. But the thing is, he's going to be coupled with Capitao. Capitao has seen a resurgence in bans because he's a great operator at shutting down active bandit tricking.
Yeah, I think Capitao is really, really, I would say, integral to take as a ban here. I would say the only thing I would change is potentially get rid of Maverick instead of Thatcher, because if you have a very competent bandit player, you can take care of any sort of hard breach utility, you know, at the same time. And that's why I think Capitao is a good ban. That's the only thing I would potentially change is either swap out Thatcher for Maverick or swap out Capitao for Maverick.
You know, that's a good point. It's going to be the final operator rolling on through. She goes by the name of Melusi, the newest addition to the defending team, and she will no longer be a factor in this game. Now, a lot of teams have been very comfortable starting on the basement, and actually Cash CCTV has fallen away as the primary bomb site since a lot of attacking rosters have become very competent at setting that up. And a new addition, I guess an old addition at the same time, he goes by the name of Glaz. He has been buffed significantly recently, and he can now walk holding W the entire time while seeing the banana people through his reticle. And you don't want to be anywhere near those smokes. Now, a lot of teams have been doubling and tripling down on Glaz and bringing more operators of smoke grenades so you can really hone in on the effectiveness of his sniper rifle. But sadly, it's going to be a more sensible 6-pick over into Maverick.
Man, I was excited. I thought I was going to see Glaz in my first cast back in a while here off the desk, and that would have been exciting to see. But I think it was honestly a really good bait because Glaz is really good anymore. He's not just an accidental pick. You know, you can use him very effectively to try and get them to swap off an operator. We didn't really see that come true, though. We didn't see anybody swap to a Warden or anything like that, but we did see the Maestro taken away in favor of the Mira, and oh boy, it's a rehost. Okay, I thought I was ready to go. It was going to be Gym Bedroom. It's going to be an exciting first round, but it looks like we're going to wait just a little bit longer here. No matter. So, Chief, I like the operator lineups, though. What do you think about the Mira take and the fact that she wasn't banned, especially on a site like Gym?
So Mira has this weird fallacy about her, right? I call it the Mira fallacy. A lot of their operators, Thatcher actually fits into this as well, right? If you're expecting everybody to ban Mira, you're not going to have strats with her. Why?
Right.
Well, because you're not going to be scrimming with her, which means you're not writing strats with her. But that's kind of the reverse Uno card a lot of rosters can utilize. They can really play into that and actually start to bring out that Mira because teams, again, aren't scrimming against a Mira, so they're not going to know how to attack a Mira.
Oh, yeah.
It can work out brilliantly. The problem with this Mira strategy now is the attackers have already seen it. They know what to expect, and they tried to do their own reverse Uno card once again, if I can make that joke twice in a row, because they try to go to the tertiary bomb site, which is Gym. They're trying to change up the attacking rhythm, but now the attackers are going to know the bomb site, and they're going to be able to have 5 minutes where they can actually make a strategy on how to attack this perfectly.
Yeah, you bring up a really valid point there about the rehost. I think if the rehost didn't happen, yeah, they'd be at a very, very steep advantage almost because you're showing operators originally before the 6th pick that look a lot like Clubhouse CCTV. You know,
True.
You have the Maestro for the Raptor play, you have the Jaeger as well, all very standard operators, and then you instantly 6th pick to the Mira. And like you were saying, if you don't have strategies to counter a Mira, it's very difficult to do, which is why I think it's very valuable to have almost 2 or 3 strats per site per side. If you really have been together for a while, you're starting to mesh as a roster, you got to take that time and sort of devote yourself to putting those together because then you can really not have to worry about any situation. You just turn the page on your strat book and you're good to go. We see that a lot in Pro League where teams counter each other very well like that. So, but let's take a look at the remainder of the week. We've got some extra time here. We've been talking about this for a while. So what are you thinking about these predictions here about these matchups?
Honestly, the game of the week, and maybe I'm biased since I'm casting it, it's going to be Redux Rising versus Emergence. I think that's going to be the best lineup of the entire week. 2 teams that are incredibly competent, have phenomenal strategies, and now with Finn actually back, he's out of town in week number 1. That is going to be my highlight match because honestly, if any one of these series during week number 2 utilizes overtime in both games, it is definitely going to be that series.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal one for sure. I mean, Redux has some roster changes as well that happened through the off season that have really turned them into a phenomenal roster as well. So it's going to be a barn burner for sure. Emergence is going to have to really put in their all, and I think that's why it was so split 3-3 in the predictions. Looking again too, I think another possible contender for game of the week might be the Pride Wichita game. That's going to happen on Friday at about 8:45 Eastern. I would definitely check that one out if you're a big fan of either team or just a part of the league as well, because you're going to have Wichita, who's historically so strategy oriented, versus Pride, who is just run and gun. So that was awesome.
And honestly, we're talking about fallacies, and well, there's a perfect T3 fallacy. Do you rely on strategy or do you rely on mechanical skill?
Oh, man.
And one thing that happens far too often in T3 is strategy goes straight out the window, and you just rely on one thing and one thing only, that is clicking heads and winning your engagements. And sometimes we've seen rosters like Homeland where their strategy would just crumble. They were just not working out and they would just start to frag. And the reason I highlight that is, well, In Control Nation has Homeland players, and now Wichita Wolves do with the addition of Anarchy, who's a monster, by the way. He's probably going to be on the flex role. He's been in pretty much every single role, and that's something you have to highlight here. But finally, Clubhouse, it is going to go underway. They're going to be showing the exact same bomb size and the exact same operators per the rulebook, and Glaz will be 6-picked away once again.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they stick with the Glass. I know that they're obviously going to 6-pick to the Maverick, but a big part of me is like, please, please. But yeah, you make a good point about fragging out in this game. I think there comes a point where you definitely need to just sort of abandon all thought and just, turn brain off, as you like to say, rely on your 2 brain cells or whatever it might be. Oh, excuse me, whatever it might be. Okay, hello there, Villa replay. But in any case, you just throw your diamond charm on your favorite gun and go to town here. So as we load in, it's going to be gym bedroom yet again. We didn't really get to see too much of the setup, but I'm expecting it's going to be your traditional gym bedroom setup. Castle barricade the window, castle barricade the door, try and save your bandit's life and go from there.
Well, look at this delicious bear rave going on through. See you later, cheaters. Don't ever come back to this game. No better way of starting off round number 1 than with that delicious wave. And as we're highlighting, it's going to be primary, the tertiary bomb site, which is gym bedroom. The thing that the defenders really have to rely on is wasting as much hard breach utility as possible. And the thing is, Hostile Action is bringing 3 different hard breach operators. They could, in theory, bring out 4 with the addition of Ace, but that seems like just a little bit overkill, because you're still going to have to deal with these walls, and you're going to have to deal with the active bandit tricking. Good thing for Hostile Action, though, they do have Maverick in play, so you can just trick the Jacuzzi wall, and that wall will be opened up for free, and you can really rely on the remainder of your hard breach over here on the east side of the map, which is Cash.
Yeah, the hard breachers are going to be really integral on this, and that's why bringing 3 of them is so strong on this map. But this is the strategy that you typically see a lot from, these T3 Rainbow Six teams on gym bedroom, is just try and extend, try and hold time as long as you can, because it is a huge time waster. So there's honestly no other real way to sort of push this site. You can get main breach open as much as you want, but that puts a lot of crossfire opportunities on you, and you need to have somebody in construction. So if you can effectively clear out this cash room within, I'd say, the first minute and 30 seconds of any round, you're good to go. But it's going to be Slasher who's not going to be clearing out cash room. He's going to be getting cleared out of rafters himself. That is a phenomenal kill there from Visionary to open up the game. Still a 4v5 though, still 2 minutes to go, and a lot of potential for these teams, but we'll see.
No answer back whatsoever from the side of Hostile Action. And who needs impact tricking when you can actively trick with your bandit batteries? Panic is going to do that perfectly. And Hostile Action, they're running just out of time and resources. Now, technically, 2 minutes is plenty of time to go for your execute. But the problem is they haven't cleared out the west or the east side of the map. Cash is absolutely imperative. The back-to bandit tricking has rotated all the way. Limbo's going to hear the stomp running on through. Panics and get far too aggressive, and he's going to be shut on down. Micro positioning might work out perfectly for Thatcher as he's elevated on a position. But the drone is going to confirm his location. He's going to be forced away. He knows he's in dire straits, so he's going to try to pre-fire. He's going to take just a little bit of damage. Dom isn't in a perfect position to get the crossfire whatsoever, and that's going to allow Slasher to rotate away. Badger off screen is going to kill him his own. And as we were highlighting, Hostile Action is struggling to execute on the tertiary bomb site.
Oh yeah, that's a little bit tough there for Hostile Actions. Beautiful shot coming out from Badger. You even see the nice shot coming out in chat for them as well. But I think Slasher being able to evade those shots, just really, really lucky on his part, not dying as he rotated back into construction. That might have saved the round for Visionary here, because otherwise it would be in a 3v3 situation, which is still very winnable. You have all 3 of your hard breachers on the board. Nobody's watching the rotation into construction though, so everyone's going to be pushing it here. We've got 2 people stuck inside of gold, and it's going to be a battle of the guns here. Thermite's going to be able to get the first one, and the second one is going to be the Jaeger. So trades coming out. It's still going to be a 3v2 man advantage on the side of Visionary, and HP is not looking too healthy either. Wallbangs though going to come out and down Slasher. The kill going to be confirmed from Zag, and it is going to be a 2v2. Last 15 seconds coming out. Frag grenade is going to be Dom with the headshot, making it into 2v1, and it's Abadu with the absolute gunner of the Vector in a 2v1 situation. Plant going down by the Thermite. Now it's Dom, about 20 HP, going up against that gun from behind the bomb, but it is going to be Dom who finishes it off. Hostile Actions takes round number 1.
Visionary is playing that perfectly in the first 2 minutes of the round. They understood how to waste time, but they started to get ahead of themselves. They started to make mistakes and getting far too aggressive. That's one of the most important things. You have to play this bomb site very passively. You have to force the attackers to come to you. And well, the defenders didn't do that. They went to the attackers. They went knocking, and the only thing that happened to them was getting knocked on down. Remember, you when you're holding in Logi office, force the attackers to leave from construction. But when you have a double wide swing on through, the attackers are going to be prepared for that most times because that wooden floor is really loud. Whatever reason, the sound propagation on that floor is different than other parts of the map, especially on the second floor because it is wooden. And whatever reason, that makes it harder to hear or easier to hear, and you just hear them stomping on through. And that's going to be a round win for Hostile Action, a round win that they shouldn't have achieved.
Yeah, that was a really nice job there by Hostile Actions to clean up shop. I thought it was going to go the other way, but it really just came down to the gun skills, particularly of Dom, I would say. He really helped out his team there, but we can't count out Zag as well, who on the Thermite was able to get those 2 kills. But here we are, looking at a basement take here. And an interesting thing is Glaz got stuck on here. So I think this is a beautiful choice. If you can push your Glaz down as maybe a solo push through dirt, you know, he can hold tight angles while still being able to see through smoke, and it gives him just a very valuable advantage because in dirt, you can still shoot through those little wood pillars that you can see there, thanks to the wonderful observing of Bean. But it does take an extra amount of visibility to do so and a little bit of a heads-up play. So I think Glaz is exactly what you need, but Goyo is going to be there to counter that just as much.
Now, back in the day, you'd hot drop kitchen with a Ying and her smoke grenades as well as Glaz's smoke grenades. The thing is, most defenders tend to play very aggressive on these boxes. So the westmost box is box number 3, working its way all the way to 1 on the east side. The thing is, defenders basically play whack-a-mole there. One stands up and shoots you, the other one stands up as the other one's going on down. Glaz is a perfect counter to that because that strategy is going to be shut on down through the smoke because you're not really sure if you're a defender, if your body is fully exposed behind that barricade or that wall or that box. So you have to be very cautious of it, especially if you're lying prone because your feet can be exposed to the Glaz banana through the smoke.
Yeah, that's the one tough thing about fighting a strategy like that for sure. Another interesting thing, though, is that we do have the potential for some impact tricking coming out here from Visionary, so it might have to be relegated to strictly a dirt blue push here by these attackers, so long as Abadu and potentially the Alibi as well are both able to get the job done. One impact grenade has been expended, and I do believe it captured that Hibana pellet charge beautifully here. It's important to note as well, she's the only hard breacher, so yeah, that will sort of relegate to that exact dirt push, which is what we're seeing right now. Dom, first kill of the round. Ooh, the sniper rifle just absolutely shreds the smoke, and that's a horrible pick to get if you're the defensive side because you need him for that late round plant denial.
Well, we're talking about overexposing yourself against a Glaz, and unfortunately, the members of the members of Visionary are going to learn that the hard way, as they're now going to be down the smoke, as you highlighted. But it's going to be the central stairs, the main point of contention for the roster of HA, as they're trying to push their way on through. Axon's going to be attempting to find another kill, but sadly, nobody's actually showing their body as of yet. Visionary understands that they're in a very dangerous position with that man disadvantage. So they're going to learn their lessons from round number 1, and they're going to play the clock and force the attackers to push on through. Glazers are going to go fishing, but it's going to be Avenue winning those engagements. Finally, Badger going to be shut on down, but Hostile Action, their unbridled aggression is not going to work out well for them, as it's now just effectively a 1v3 as Dom is on his back. The Bearing 9 is going to be attempting to find 3 kills, but the recoil control is not going to work out well for Devils, as he'd be hitting mostly bars with that Bearing 9, forced to have no rotation other than the central stairs, and Visionary is just waiting patiently. They know the down is in play. Devils going to find one, but unable to find the second.
Wow, okay, what a round there for Visionary. They were able to clean up just a little bit. It was exactly what they needed, and oh, you know what? I just noticed from the kill feed that was actually an impact grenade that was able to down the Glaz there at that first point, so that's kind of funny to see. But in any case, good job to Visionary. They were able to cut down the man advantage, and I saw something similar to a CSGO strategy almost. They smoked their cross angle and just ran in, which I think almost cued off Visionary to the fact that they were going to try a quick push down that main stairs and into deep armory. And of course, you don't want to contest a Maestro who's just going to be content to sit near AKs and just absolutely shred you. So I don't know if that was exactly advisable from HA, but they still got a couple frags on that round. They still made it a little bit closer, especially towards the end with a beautiful shot by Devils.
Honestly, you have to deal with the audit. The audit does one thing really well, and that is punishing you if you don't deal with it instantaneously. Visionary is going to be returning back over to the tertiary bomb site. Now, statistically, this is the best bomb site for the attackers to win. Visionary almost won this in round number 1, but they just got a little bit too aggressive. They started skipping steps towards the latter parts of the round. They honestly really need to hone in on impact tricking, and especially over here on the east side of the bomb site. But the problem is, there is going to be no impact tricking whatsoever. They're going to be relying on Panic to actively trick this wall with his bandit batteries. The problem with that strategy is, well, the attackers can come from underneath. It doesn't matter if they're coming from lobby or through stocks. They can utilize vertical pressure, whether or not it's a frag grenade or an Ash breaching charge or a Zofia impact, and instantaneously deal with that pressure. So I would like to see Visionary have a little bit more depth to their defense over on the east side of the map.
I think that we're seeing that a little bit here because we're seeing the bandit who actually reinforced the exterior wall of CCTV, and he's going to be bandit charging that. So that's going to provide a little bit of a difference from what we saw first round, where they were just given that wall for free. And by they, I mean the attackers in that case. Looks like Garage is going to be getting droned out as well here. They're just going to try and see if they can get a free push into there. But Bandit is going to have something to say about that if that does come to pass here by the Zofia. So hopefully for the side of the attackers, that drone is going to be in the perfect position. Nitrocell toss looking like it's going to be prepped and ready to go here. But I don't know. Can that drone see the person? Oh, yep. Now
Well, it definitely does now. This is going to cue action, though. There's a player playing aggressive. He's going to work his way in, but he's going to be more aware of potential crossfires, baiting that initial kill. But again, with our God Vision, we understand that Panic has rotated all the way. There's going to be your first thermite charge, utilized on this east wall. And fortunately for Hostile Action, once again, they have plenty of gadgetry to open up the east. But do they have plenty of bullets to deal with Panic, who's now found himself on red stairs? There goes the Nitrocell that was preset. It's going to find its target. That is going to be a down for Zag. He will be a free res, though. There's going to be no answer back whatsoever other than that frag grenade. The caster curse is going to hit me just a little bit too hard. That's going to be Pixel shut down, and that is a Nitrocell now removed, as well as an SMG-11.
I think that might have been a frag grenade through the hatch, potentially, just looking at the positioning of that dead body. So if so, very, very nice placement coming out there from Hostile Actions. They were able to get the res off onto their thermites, and now it's 5v4 situation with plenty of time left to go. So now it's just going to be a matter of Visionary not over peaking. I think they're set up for it. You know, we've got the castle watching that nice angle into the construction to cache door. Bandits watching the Logi hatch, and really Hostile Actions is going to have to do a pretty linear east to west push right now. And that's not what you need. You know, no matter how many guys you are up, you have to be able to sort of split the attention of the defense. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck. And that might be exactly what we're seeing right now.
Well, Badger's going to be forced away because of the flashbang dump. Who says flashbangs are used for soft targets? Here and now, it definitely will be. And the attackers, if they don't know it, they have control of Logi. Impact grenades are going to go out and confirm the location of Closet, and that mirror window will now be shut down, so the attackers have one less power position to deal with. The problem is, though, they haven't dealt with any power positions actually over here in bedroom. But who needs to do that when you can win gunfights? This is going to be a double, make that a triple kill for Axon. He's on a tear with the pistol in hand, but Zag is going to shut him on down. No more kills for him. It's going to be Abadu's turn to shine as he have to 1v4 this round. The crossfires are established. The bomb is on the deck. It's going to be almost impossible for that Vector to find 3 more kills. And with the attackers moving all the way over to the south side, he's going to have to find a miracle play. And the problem is castle barricades are going to be opened up, and that's going to hurt him. So he's going to have to rely on his impact grenade. You see the feed. Oh my, no. It's going to be the tango of death. But finally, Abadu's going to find that kill with 20 seconds left.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit not too winnable here for Visionary unless he pulls off some godlike maneuver, but he's going to be caught in a crossfire there, and that's going to be Hostile Actions with the victory yet again on Jim. But you got to be wondering, you almost put yourself in a situation that was a little bit dicey there with that TK especially, so maybe just the heat of the moment, you know, caused that to come by. Maybe it was the fact that Thermite said, nah, you're not getting a quad kill this round. We will never know, but at the very least, those last 2 operators were able to clean it up, and they were able to get their win. So as we go back to CCTV now, or actually for the first time to CCTV, I do believe. I think this is exactly what they need. I know, Chief, you're a very adamant believer in do not go back to the same site, and I have sort of gone over to that mentality as well. I think if you play the same thing too much in a row, then the attack just gets very, very comfortable with that push, and they're able to take care of you easily in
The
some cases.
problem is, once the attackers actually see a bomb site, they have a good understanding of how to attack it. That's why it's imperative to do a completely different strategy. That's actually why the SSG style strategy on your second rotation to basement works out really well, because the attackers understand how to push it because they've done it once. Even if they failed doing it, they've still seen how your utility is placed. But when you bring out that SSG style roam, it's something that's completely different. It's going to force the attackers to basically clear east to west from that second floor. Now, in theory, you could do a west to east clear, but honestly, east to west is probably better given the crossfires you can set up. And that is a theme that a lot of defending rosters really need to understand. When you're going back to a bomb site, you have to change up your strategy entirely. And the problem was, Visionary, they didn't do that. They went to Gym Bedroom round number 1, and they would return in round number 3 with almost identical strategy. It was easy for Hustle Action to pick it apart. Why? Because they've seen it once before.
Yeah, you make a really good point there. I think the only notable change they did make was reinforcing the exterior wall, and what did that really do for them? Not a whole lot. They were able to clear the gadgets fairly simply, I believe, with a frag grenade or something of the sort. We're going to have to see if that's going to hold true here yet again. Are they going to be able to get somebody in below? It's going to be Panic down there as the Jaeger who's going to have something to say about that, but at the moment it looks like it's just going to be your standard Maverick trick strategy. And I think the remaining hard breachers might be going towards the con side of things, which is very smart. That's exactly what you need to see as an attacking team on Clubhouse. You need to split the push. You need to divert the attention away from that one side here. Maverick getting his work done on this wall very effectively. It was a little bit dangerous there because sometimes you see people play that close-up angle laying down by those TV monitors, and the Maverick can get a little bit tapped by the opposing team, but this time it didn't work out. So 2 minutes left to go, Chief. How are you liking this round so far?
So far, perfect execute for Hostile Action, but they're going to have to be perfect for the next 2 minutes. They're going to have to deal with this deployable shield. That is going to be checklist number 1 for them. And that is going to be the continuation of these mini games. And right now, Hostile Action is going to say, no, not today, Mr. Chief. We're going to be changing up our angles. We're actually going to be allowing Pixel to stay here for the time being. That might be because there's 2 sets of frag grenades in play, and you can rotate somebody underneath if you deal with Panic, which you already have, because he's now back on the A-bomb chassis. So Pixel is basically a death man right now. He has a death sentence staying in this deployable shield. If a drone confirms it, which Action has already done, that frag grenade is going to go sky high momentarily.
Yeah, I'm looking for Limbo to do just that. They gave up bottom control, and by they, Visionary, and they have the opportunity to do it, but it looks like both frag grenades are actually going to go in the direction of that Jaeger who is sitting near green box, and it does quite a bit of HP, but it's not going to kill exactly who they needed. So Pixel's life is going to be maintained for the time being. I believe that was an impact trick that came out and was able to get rid of some of Thermite's ability on that wall. So at the moment, it's just going to be a battle of the guns here. Still 5v5, HP a little bit in favor of Hostile Actions, but not really a whole lot when you've got superior angles being able to be held by this defending team. So it's just going to come down to, honestly, who frags out in these last 30 seconds. And will it be Zag, who has been the fragmite in the first 2 rounds? But no, it's going to be Panic who actually opens it up, and an immediate team refrag there by accident onto Pixel. So 4v4 is the name of the game. 20 so seconds left in this one. Panic retreats back up to top garage, unaware that there is a Zofia outside of the breach right now. And the Aztec, oh my lord, is going to take out his feet. Zofia's going to swing in, get refragged there by Slasher on the Cade. 3v3 situation coming out. Dom holding the angle onto the top garage rafters. Slasher, though, getting a Nitro Cell kill onto his opponent. So now 3v2. Diffuser did go down, however. I don't quite know how that happened. I think Thermite might have just survived long enough.
An explosive start for both these rosters in the dying seconds of the post plant, but it's going to be on the defenders to work their way through and now force the attackers to spring on them. But Badger's almost done with the defuser's no answer back whatsoever. What the answer comes back just as the attackers need it. It is now going to be Abadu, pistol in hand. He's going to try to find the kill, but Dom is allowed to rotate on through, but finally the cover fire is going to be perfect. It is going to be Abadu saving the round for his team, allowing Visionary to win round 4, and either one of these rosters could have succeeded, but honestly, the attackers post-plant wasn't in a good positioning.
That was, I think, oh my lord, when that plant went down, I thought it was going to go in favor of the attack there. All they needed to do was just hold the angles, but it was beautifully executed by Visionary to really put each other out of position, you know, and isolate 1v1s and effectively just win that round. Based on that, I would say, I mean, it was down to the Maverick there, and they had the good crossfire going on, so one person could stick the defuse and the Maestro could watch it, and it just worked out for him. So now as we go back down to basement, which is yet again another site that Visionary has won on defense, I'm thinking this might switch over to a Visionary advantage. That might be just be 3-2, and we might have to see Jim for a third time if that is the case. But for now, I think Visionary might have it.
So
At
no
least get that,
glass.
I should say.
No Glaz on the side of hostile action this time. The problem with that Glaz strategy is it nerfed the attackers far too much. They only had one breacher, hard breacher, and that was Hibana. And that really forced the attackers in a very awkward situation. They had to say, do I open up top hatches? Do I open up dirt? How am I going to push this? And the problem was they opened up dirt. They had one X-Cairo still in their back pocket, gets impacted, tricked away. And this is going to force the attackers to do a very linear push all through dirt as well as central stairs. Those are basically fatal funnels and asking for the attackers to get shut down for free. And that's exactly how they got shut down for free, because they couldn't push out of those fatal funnels. So hopefully Hostile Action is able to really rely on the 3 hard bridgers they're bringing, open up every single top hatch, dirt wall, and actually go for the execute they desire.
I think that's exactly what needs to happen here. I'm not quite sure exactly what went on with the Hibana in the last round, why there wasn't more attempts made to sort of get the hatch open. I think it was because she relegated herself to only have one set of pellets left, and I think they're correcting that here by at least bringing other hard breachers on this attack. So I think Hostile Actions giving their lineup, or given their lineup, I should say, it's looking a little bit better, but at the same time, it's going to be on Visionary to sort of deny those pushes, play the nitro cells well, you know, and keep the impact tricking strong, like we saw in that first round. But right now, not a whole lot of action happening here. It's just mainly testing the waters, making sure there's not a whole lot of roam action. I think Hostile Actions is being a little bit overly cautious here. You could do the same thing exactly with a drone, but for whatever reason, they seem very, very intent on holding angles onto top red, so perhaps they spotted somebody up there at the beginning of the prep phase, not quite sure. But at the moment, I'm not quite sure where this push is going to happen from. I mean, they're sort of testing dirt, they're sort of testing top red. What do you think, Chief?
Honestly, if I was the IGL right now and I identify this take and I would not do a central stairs execute, I'd actually do a blue execute, either coming down the moto hatch or potentially the kitchen hatch. Now, the attackers are going to have to deal with Badger, and they're going to have to deal with him now. He's providing a plethora of information as well as potential of getting aggressive with a nitro cell and shutting down the attackers. Now, Hostile Action has potential of dealing with him right now, and that is going to be Limbo. With his sledgehammer, he's going to be starting to open up the floor above that pulse. The problem is holes work both ways, and the attackers are going to have to be very careful. Impact tricking is going to be semi-successful as part of those Exo-Cairo pellets are going to be shut down, but another set's going to come on through. There goes the impact trick once again. It's going to utilize all 3 sets, but oh no, the attackers have plenty in their back pocket, but the hatch is still going to get open nonetheless.
Yeah, that was really close there. I thought for a second that impact grenade there from the Alibi was going to get it done, but I think the angle that she was stuck in, being in church, was just enough to sort of throw off the detonation and not clear those pellets. So now with 35 seconds left to go, this is looking like a 20-second meta sort of occurrence that we remember so fondly from about 3 seasons ago. Oh, beautifully placed nade is going to take out Pixel, but Badger with the double kill is going to be able to take out both the diffuser carrier and the Maverick, so that eliminates any chance of opening up triple wall. Axon's going to kill Slasher with an immediate refrag then by Abadu. So it's looking again like Visionary took control of this round. I don't know why they were feeling so needy to go towards that triple wall take like last time, but it's getting him killed. And there's another impact nade kill. This is exactly what happened. So it's up to Devils in the 1v3 situation. He narrows it down to a 1v2. Absolutely no time though, and that is going to be Visionary making it a 3-2 lead.
That was actually a very brilliant read coming out by Hostile Action, and even better read by Visionary. So Hostile Action understood that they couldn't go for the execute they wanted. So they actually did a central stairs and new blue execute, setting up a 180 crossfire. And you actually saw the defenders looking in two directions simultaneously. That is a perfect scenario to be in as an attacker. The problem was Visionary identified the fact that all their barrels are facing in different directions. And what they did was they basically went to one apex point for the attackers, and that was new blue. They put the majority of the resources in dealing with New Blue instantaneously. They shut down that power position for the attackers, and then they once again started to look towards Central Stairs. And at that point, the attackers had nowhere to go. And another highlight play was Badger. He got a double wallbang kill. It was probably facilitated by his pulse scanner, but nonetheless, that was the opening duel they needed. And Pixel has decided the kills he got in that round were brilliant, and he doesn't want to participate in round number 6.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying, okay, guys, you got it. You know, might as well. But at the same time, I didn't notice the fact that the attacking team of Hostile Actions actually made it down into blue last round. So I appreciate the insight there, Chief. I was about to criticize Hostile for just doing another main take, but pointing that out actually
It was
opened my
Accent,
eyes.
I believe, on
Okay.
Zofia.
Okay, that would make a lot more sense then to me. Okay, looking back, I could see that. So, good deal there. But here we are back on Gym Bedroom, and it's a 4v5 already. So Visionary has lost his site twice. That's why Hostile Actions has that 2-round count in their favor. And now not having a Mira and not having their 5th player, I don't know if Visionary is going to be able to effectively hold this. It looks like they're trying the exact same strategy as they did before, but with a man down on a very attacker-sided site. I don't know if there's a whole lot that you can really do, so it's going to just be on the hands of Visionary to frag out.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable calling it very attacker-sided. It's statistically better for the attackers, but I think very is a strong word.
Oh,
Now
okay.
it might be very now in the 4v5 though. And the problem with the strategy of going to the bomb site 3 times in a row, and particularly the tertiary bomb site 3 times, or not in a row, but throughout your defensive half, is, well, you haven't won any rounds yet. The attackers have a very good understanding of pushing it, and hopefully Visionary is going to change up their strategy. Now, technically they have, because Mirror isn't in play, but the reason Mirror isn't in play is because of that disconnect. And we're going to need Visionary to create a strategy where they're maybe able to roam on the east side of the map, maybe trying to play off the red stairs or potentially garage rafters. But they're very linear right now. They have too many bodies in one spot that can be shut down by crossfires. Frag grenades from underneath are about to shut down Slasher if he's not prepared.
I think it's almost vital to have somebody playing outside of the pre-assigned site locations. And by pre-assigned, I mean that cash room included in that as well, because it's almost really becoming a default position. Okay, Maestro going on a lovely stroll out through the breach. I don't quite know what was going on with that, but he's going to take a headshot for his trouble. Limbo as well, going to secure that nade kill onto the Jaeger, ironically, and that was from below. So, Chief, you are telepathically communicating with these attacking players right now. Thermite's going to be opening up the triple wall, and Cade is going to be in a very uncomfortable situation, but never mind, he's going to make it a little more comfortable for himself as he eliminates 2 of the attackers, only get refragged immediately by Zag from Hostile Action. So, 1v3, do you think that we're going to see the clutch of the century here, or is Hostile Actions going to be able to secure this one?
It's going to be delivered at 3-3, but not with Badger alive. He's going to find another kill. He's going to try to do his best panic impression and save the round for his team. It's going to be a very linear execute for the time being, coming about by Hostile Action, as they're going to start to utilize their drone economy and confirm the location of Badger. 30% of that drone economy is still up and active for the side of Hostile Action, so they can continue to throw it on through, but they're going to attempt this up. The crossfire is going to be all in vain as Zag works his way in 1v1, and it's going to be an easy kill for Badger, who is one step closer, delivering his team to a 4-2 split. He's going to start to open up his castle barricade, allowing him more movement throughout this entire bomb site. And those preset Maestro evil cams are going to give him the information of the century. A frag grenade is going to attempt to find its target. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but with 6 seconds left, the SMG-11 is going to go hunting, and he's going to succeed with his primary weapon. The L8 is going to win the round for Hostile Actions. Badger unable to succeed.
That was nuts. I am so happy I got to see that firsthand, because that was such a beautiful, beautiful play there from Visionary. I'll give it to him. Hostile Actions That was close. You almost gave that round a Visionary there. You were in the 3v1 situation, and then he started picking up those 1v1 kills, which is exactly what you don't want to be doing as an attacking team in that sort of situation. But well done to Badger, but at the same time, beautiful shot there from Hostile Actions to be able to end the round, and it makes it 3-3. So this game could go either way. But if we see the 4-2 defensive sided split that we're so accustomed to seeing on maps like Clubhouse, Villa that have a little bit more of a defensive tilt, this one might just go to Hostile Actions. We'll see.
So Mira's being shown in the 6-pick phase, actually 6-picked into, and she will be stuck. Now we talk about the SSG style roam, but a lot of people forget about the blue hole that SSG pioneered, and that is where you put a mirror window facing into the east, over into secret stairs, as well as a single mirror window facing over into central stairs. Now some rosters tend to put it in the middle, or they actually leave the middle panel unreinforced, and I'm actually of the club where you leave that middle panel unreinforced and you put your mirror window right on the north panel so you can get aggressive and peek into central. And that's exactly how they're going to be playing it. Now, where will this other mirror window be? I would still like to see it over near Ginny facing that secret stairs because you can shut down the aggression from the attackers. We're going to have to see what the strat book actually holds for Hostile Action.
Yeah, not too sure just yet where they're planning on doing it, but oh, you know what? It's going to be that blue wall by dummy boxes. Okay, I see what they're cooking up right now. This is an interesting strat to harken back to my Season 1 SCS days. Interesting strategy. Oh, Slasher! What?
Hello?
Where did he get that kill from? Was that just the luckiest wallbang that I think we might have ever just witnessed right there? I wish I knew what was going on with... Okay.
Oh! Oh, the pre-fire! Oh, no!
Oh, my lord. This man... I feel so bad there for Zag. oh my lord. That's just so unlucky. But well done there by Slasher. That was such a heads-up play to know that they were reinforcing up top like that. I think that's what happened is Slasher was like, yo, they're doing SSG. I'm going to pre-fire that wall. Might as well. And it paid off. So, okay.
I don't think that was a reinforcement kill. I think that was just a rotation through construction and being shut down for free.
Okay.
That's a good highway. A lot of teams actually rotate through that as a highway. And well, he's going to find himself in a very sad 6-foot nap. But fortunately for him, he's going to be joined by 2 more of his teammates, as it's just going to be a full side-on rush as Badger to say, hello, I am now a defender. As I'm going to be holding on church, they hear somebody sitting very close to Ginny Box. Badger's going to find his 3rd kill in this round. Almost make that 4th. Is he going to hear another player sitting down on the central stairs? Is it a possible scenario for the final member of Hostile Action, as poor Axon, he's going to have to find the ace clutch in this round. Fortunately for him, he's a new 1.5 times sight. He's going to spot the head of Slasher, but unable to even pull the trigger.
Oh my god, you should have seen my face, Chief. When all the kills started happening, I was like, where is this happening? Is he pushing down dirt? And then all of a sudden we swap on and he's all the way in the middle of church. That's nuts. Badger is going off this game for Visionary. What a huge pickup for them. Wow, okay. But I think looking back, Chief, I realized what happened with that mute. He was making a hole through the wall into Logi and then through the floor of Logi as well to sort of watch the hatch into kitchen. And he was just sitting there and got pre-fired. So that's what happened with that. But beautiful play by IQ. It was very heads up, and that's the exact counter that you need to display against the SSG strategist. Get bodies into sight, go for kills and watch for the rotating players.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hostile Action has found you again. But will they find them here in round number 8? It is very difficult to get pre-fire wallbangers like that back-to-back. And I think the members of Hostile Action is going to be just a little bit timid of that wall for moving on to the rest of Season 4 here at Storm Competitive Series. They're going to definitely remember that bruise for the time being. But fortunately for them, it's a new round, it's a new day, and they're going to be going to a completely different bomb site. It's going to be Cast CCTV, and it's going to be a Valkyrie in play, the Defiance Special. Now, you could put Valkyrie cams in a myriad of different locations, all to stem your aggression. You can put them over here on the east side of the map, either over in trash cans or just outside through stock. And that will allow you to get aggressive and wide swing and go hunting for those initial kills. That is how Visionary won round number 7. They got the opening picks, and maybe it's your turn to kind of dish it back to them.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be on the Valkyrie here to get a couple valuable opening kills. If you can put those cameras like you were talking about in those amazing locations, you can do those sort of I hesitate to call it this, but like the monkey runouts that you see sometimes, you know, from these crazy 1v players. We saw Defiance try to do that actually last week, but he actually got bonked down there by Strip. So hopefully we won't see that if you're a fan of Hostile Actions. But in any case, they're going to be trying their best, and this is a really good site to bring a Valkyrie on.
I've never said a player was bonked before, but that's a great way of putting it. Sometimes you just get hit over the head with a frying pan and you have nothing to do other than just contemplate life and sit on cams and drones for the time being. Slasher's going to do exactly that. It's going to put Accent down there and relegate him to cams for the time being. The duel back and forth between these two individuals has been unstoppable on the attacking side of Visionary, as Accent's just going to get far too aggressive in the door frame and be unable to participate once again.
Oh, wow. Slasher is just on fire with his openers right now. Take a look at his stat line later tonight, and we are going to see a whole lot of good for his team there. Another point of a whole lot of good is actually that's going to be Visionary has already made it into construction with 1:30 left to go. They have the ability to potentially get these walls here. But the important thing to note is that it's only a Hibana there. So as long as Zag is on top of his impact tricking, he might be able to deny this play. But at the same time, we have the nades from Panic, so as long as we have that ADS burn come out, I think we might see a spicy little grenade kill. We'll see. Abadu, though, getting lit up, but it's going to be Limbo who is getting traded back for that, so it's going to come down to this smoke of Dom to potentially be able to get his teammate up.
FMG 9 in hand. It's going to be the duo roam for the time being for Hostile Action. Their position is definitely known, but will Limbo attempt to get aggressive? They have plenty of plants now, both off the bomb site as well as actively on the bomb site. And there's going to be your first part of plants now. Sent down range as Dom is going to utilize that Toxic Babe. That's going to be 10 seconds of temporary denial, but it's going to dissipate very soon. And that's going to force Dom to continue to utilize those throughout the round. And here comes Panic. He's going to be working his way into the bomb site, attempting to find members of Hostile Action. But for the time being, there's nobody in Crossbar. Mute's going to be standing in the wrong place. He's going to be shut on down. Zag's going to get a kill of his own, followed by a myriad of death from both these rosters, but still just slightly in favor of Visionary. But the problem is the bomb is on an island. There's no answer back whatsoever. Dom's going to be flashed into oblivion as the screen turns into white, as it's now just a 1v3, make that a 3v0, as the guns once again light the scoreboard up for Visionary.
Visionary is absolutely coming alive in this attack half. I don't know what is going on, but their IGL is just calling some aggressive shots, and it is working out. Hostile Actions is not ready for it, so potentially they've VOD reviewed, last week's games and realized, okay, Pride was able to just rush on into sight on their defense and take a lot of control, and that's what we're seeing right now. So I think Hostile Actions has got to do a lot of soul searching here and find out what is going to be the counter, and I think that counter might be, you know, preserve your lives just a little bit. You need to play 5v5 for a little while, be able to deny time, and then I think we might see a different outcome here. 6 pick from Legion onto Legion. Actually, no, never mind. That's going to be Legion onto Valk. I was a little bit scared there for a moment.
Ha! You thought they played
I
you.
know. I was ready.
Yeah, you were. That's why you never, as a caster, man, you never say anything till the 6-pick phrase is over because, well, they do that to you. They're like, hi, Dash, you said something. Here's my big, that middle finger. Now, we were talking earlier about going to back-to-back bomb sites, and we Hostile Actions turning to fall into that fallacy, and we were returning to Cash CCTV twice in a row and not electing to utilize a tertiary bomb site. Now, the thing Hostile Action can make the adjustment on is the fact that they were far too aggressive in round number 8. They're playing on solo engagements and engagements that were definitely in favor of the attacking lineup because they're being facilitated by preset drones. Hostile Action wasn't doing their due diligence hunting for those drones. We actually saw a drone, I believe it was sitting somewhere over here by this radio. And well, when Axon attempted to get those kills, that was all being televised in real time. And it was probably some of the easiest kills that Visionary has got in their career. So let's give in Hostile Actions to tone that unbridled aggression down just a bit.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the key. I mentioned it during prep phase as well. If you just keep your people alive for a little bit longer. I know the first one was sort of an unfortunate shot from Slasher onto, I don't know who that was. It was a couple rounds ago on that basement play. Oh, was it Accent? Okay.
Yeah, back-to-back for Accent.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is just unlucky, my friend. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, Accent. But in any case, just stay alive, and I think you might have a better chance of winning these rounds here because if you can get into a 5v5 situation, of having to defend site, you know, versus a 4v5, it opens up a lot more possibilities of better angles to be held. As you can see right now, Axon holding top garage is very valuable because you can defend from anybody that gets really cheeky to try and push in from the south.
The wise words of Nash, just stay alive. I'm going to add a little bit of accent to that, and we're
Oh,
going to
yeah?
call it stay alive forehead. That is the most important thing to do when you're an IGL.
Oh,
Just
oh
tell your
my.
base to stay alive. Don't die, get kills. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's how you win a round of Rainbow Six Siege. I couldn't finish up the rhyme. I'm a finance major after all, not an English major. But here we go. That's enough BSing for the time being. Let's dive back into round number 9, where who needs impact tricking when the attackers can use their own little round devices. Those are going to be those fragnates trying to push away those mute jammers. But the problem was it didn't push away anybody with impact tricks as of yet. That grenade might. Zach's going to take a lot of damage. But the problem was it wasn't able to actually find its target. He's going to be eventually felled through the floor. The holes of the defenders set up earlier to kill the attackers. Well, it's going to punish them for the time being.
Oh my lord. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Slasher, you are going to have an amazing stat line after tonight, my friend. You have had 3 consecutive opening kills in this attacking side. So, okay, whoever your IGL is, I think it is Abadu, if I'm remembering correctly. You're doing a great job. You're calling out their positions perfectly right now, but it is going to be Accent evening things up onto Panic, who's another important frag. As we know, he got the double kill that ended last round, but it is going to be Pixel, who's paying back his teammate's death, and it's going to make it a 3v4, make that a 2v4, and now it's left down to Accent and Limbo in yet again another clutch situation for Hostile Actions. I don't know what they need to change right now, but they keep getting put down in these man-down situations, and oh, what a beautiful peek from Slasher.
Well, for the time being, the thing they're going to have to change is their gunfights, as Limbo's going to be trying to find 4. He's going to dish out a little damage. He already utilizes Nitro Cell, so the only thing he has at his disposal is MPX. He's looking in every direction but behind him, as it's going to be Badger on the flank. He read this situation perfectly, and then it's going to be match point in map number 1 for Visionary. They were a little bit rocky in the start of this map, but on attack, they've been flawless so far, and they're going to be trying to make it a grand slam home run as we're going to be moving into potentially the final round.
I have 2 comments to say, one for each team. Hostile Actions, I think you guys are an amazing roster, don't get me wrong, but I think right now what needs to happen is you need to focus on not taking 1v1s. You did amazing on attack. You guys picked up 3 rounds when you guys needed to, and that was beautiful, but right now on your defense, you're presenting them with 1v1s, which is exactly what you don't want to happen for a team on defense. You need to keep those people alive, and you need to force the attackers to go into awkward 2v1, 3v1 gunfights by holding crossfires. So potentially work on that, and I think we might see some rounds going on Hostile Action side. But Visionary, I called them really frag heavy at the beginning of this attack, but I think right now I'm going to amend my statement, and I'm going to say that you guys are a very, very conscientious frag heavy team. And the reason I'm saying that is whatever shot calls are being made are exactly what need to happen right now. Like, your roster is making the moves that you need to make. You're dropping down Badger, for example, into bottom garage to be able to go on the flank. You're putting people into construction, you're putting crossfires in, and it's almost like, you're doing the job of holding the correct angles that Hostile Actions need to be doing. So not to try and like overly call out one particular team here, but that's just my take on everything. So Chief, what do you think?
Honestly, it's a rare day that you don't see Pixel actually getting the top frags, but he doesn't need to this round because his teammates are doing exactly that. He hasn't really found himself in these fragging potential positions, right? And the only positions he finds himself in are 1vx's and almost impossible win scenarios. But for the time being, he's really relying on the majority of his teammates to win those duels, and they've been doing exactly that. It's going to be a Visionary's turn to attack on the basement once again, and it's going to be Panic leading the charge. He's going to be droned in, clearing the entire west side of the map. Now that they have control, though, they're going to have to confirm that there's nobody hiding anywhere near on central stairs, as well as in that second floor, to allow Panic to start to swing his sledgehammer and push away the impact trick.
Now, what I want to know is, where are these last 2 defenders hiding? It looks like one is down inside of blue and the other one is inside of dirt, so I just sort of answered my own question there. But Visionary is going to gain a lot of map control here very quickly, which is not something you want to see as a defending team playing on basement. This site, you need to have a little bit of time denial. You want to have them start to be comfortable only around the 1-minute mark, not the 2-minute mark. So potentially we're going to see Visionary getting a lot of time to set themselves up, and it's going to come down on Hostile Actions just to play smart and not overextend in the late round. But I think Axon is in a really amazing position here. He has the potential for a late flank, but he might be getting caught out here by Slashers. This is going to be the gunfight of the ages as Slasher is going to see one take a lot of HP damage down to about 20. And Jaeger, all you got to do is fall back now, man. You did your job. You delayed the right amount of time that you needed. You got some HP. Okay, so beautifully done there. He did exactly what his team needed of him.
The thing is, will his position be caught out and will he be allowed to rotate? The drone is going to confirm his micro positioning, and he's going to be moving over to a new box. That's going to be Ginny box for the time being. And this is going to force a Visionary to actually send more drones down on, confirm his location, and then thus they're going to have to create a macro strategy to deal with him off screen. Pixel is going to be put on his back, but fortunately, he's going to call for reinforcements and call for his teammates to res him and bring him back up to 20 HP. But will that be enough to succeed in a gunfight? He's going to spot the feet of one player, I believe that was Devil, but he's going to be unable to land the shot. And Patrick's going to be working his way all the way down to triple wall. Now, where is hostile action in this scenario? They're going to have to create a strategy to shut down this opening hole from Thermite. As he says, a big epping hole rolling on through, but they're going to have to land that frag grenades. It's going to land true. Triple wall is going to be opened up, and that's going to be a kill to boot.
Okay, this just tipped over a little bit into the side of Visionary right now. That frag kill with the new shrapnel effects is exactly what they needed, and it's going to be confirmed a little bit more with 2 more kills coming in from the side of Visionary, but it is going to be a 2v4 as Axon evens things up. He's going to make it actually a 2v3 now as he hits a beautiful headshot onto Panic. Plant is going to be going down. I believe that's going to be behind Black Box thanks to the Maverick here. Devil's going to get taken out by Pixel, and now it's a 1v3 situation. He's stuck in blue. They know his position. There's 3 angles of crossfire being held here by this attack, so it's all going to come down to who wins these gunfights. Is it going to be the Jaeger, or is it going to be the side of Visionary to take map number 1? He is able to get the down onto Abadu. He knows the last 2 are somewhere near Moto. He gets the triple kill. He's able to secure potentially his 4th for the round. Now it's all down to if he can get this ace clutch. There's 1 operator left in the bottom of main stairs. 15 seconds left on the defuse timer. He's going to have to bait out this Hibana right now, but Hibana's holding the laydown angle. Does he know where he is? No, he doesn't, and it is going to be Pixel taking the win for Visionary. Beautifully done.
A brilliant attempt coming out by the defensive rosters, especially that Jaeger there, but sadly it's all in vain as they're going to be losing the round and losing in spectacular fashion at that. I have to give him a brilliant attempt, but you can never rely on an ace clutch scenario. You can hit your shots, but you cannot predict every scenario.
Oh man, that was a fast heart rate kind of round right there for sure. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when you have a team immediately that was down, all of a sudden Jaeger's coming out of nowhere. He's getting himself a quad kill. I almost thought he was gonna have that round. I think if he would have potentially went for the stick, he might have gotten it there. But then again, it's in the past now. He did an amazing job. So hostile actions, hats off to you. But Chief, what was your favorite moment from that Clubhouse game?
Oh, don't do me like that. You know it has to be that wall bang headshot through the wall. You know, I was talking to the entire Visionary roster before I went live, and Slasher said one thing. He was pretty quiet. He was actually deafened the entire time. But he said, hey, Chief, you know, I'm going to be the next, thing. I'm going to be the next real Slash Hug. Everybody knows him as a Pro League player, but I'm the better version. I'm the real Slash here. Who is this Slash Hug guy? He's a nobody. I'm going to be him. And well, my friend, you've succeeded in achieving that goal, at least today here in Season 4.
Oh, yeah, I would say so, man. He was putting up a fight that whole entire map, and we're going to have to see if it translates over to Theme Park for sure. But for now, I think we're going to be able to kick it over to our analyst decks. We've got Putin and we've got Pond coming up to bat right now. Let's see what beautiful, beautiful rounds you have queued up for us.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
So, I am joined by Pond this time instead of May, sadly. I'm kidding. I love working with you, Pond.
Shots fired over there at May. I love May's analytics though. I gotta just say that. I mean, May is the most fun guy to watch break down this game. I mean, his whole Russian comes out for it, and it's a time to be had.
Oh man. So the first round that we're gonna go over is round 1, more or less on the ends because we saw them go gym, and they had the momentum on defensive side, and then the attackers came around and won it, which is why we kind of want to go over and review it and show it to you guys. And then, so how are you feeling about round 1, Pond?
Honestly, round 1 was It was a round that kind of I watched it and kind of like dictated the pace of the game. I thought I was going to go a little bit more towards hostile actions. Like for me, I don't break down how a team's momentum goes. I don't break down the whole mental part. Like I think any team could win anything. Even if you got momentum coming in 6-4, you can easily get another 6-4 going or 6-0 on the half. Like I don't think that plays a lot into it, but this is one where the defense really delayed the attack well, and that's something that Visionary did almost like splendidly. Like all these rounds were going to the last dying seconds of the round, going to post plants, but this was so back and forth with Slasher and Bajor getting that kill into CC, really stunning that push from that CC side. I mean, Slasher's extended hold into Cash completely dominated the way that the attack was going to be playing the round. The attack, honestly, were not looking great, but it really kind of highlighted the thing that, I mean, you and I had talked about, was that all these rounds are going to the bitter end, and it's like the momentum is swinging so much that like the attacks can go either way, but the defense did a great job at holding them back. The attackers did a good job at regaining that momentum, regaining that control, and closing in on them.
So true. It's like, so one thing I want to point out is Badger. That kid, he almost single-handedly saved that round. Like, they
Oh
did
yeah.
such a great job. And then the Maverick and Zofia, they were able to freely open, I wouldn't say freely, but they opened this up pretty quickly. And with the mirror contesting them as well, they did that very, very well. More on the ends of time-wise. Because by the time they got this open, they already had this wall being opened by Thermite. Ash was already in stock. One thing I want to talk about, though, is this Bandit. So if he stayed inside construction, he more or less gives them an easier way to win. This is going to be referring to this play that he had. So the Ash, she was playing over in this stock. I'll just put it in here. So Ash was playing over in stock, and then the Bandit, he drops the hatch and he starts to rotate this way. But the Ash, she's putting the vertical pressure below, so she's able to get that crossfire and kill that Bandit. Because I'm pretty sure that Bandit was going below to C4. So that Ash was able to deny such a crucial play, and then she was able just to freely go up red and start pinching in on this Jaeger. The one thing I want to point out is I kind of feel bad for this Jaeger because as he was rotating through, he got caught on this door and he took so much damage.
Oh, he got
did.
caught. He got caught in the rotate, and that is one of those things that's like when you get caught in a rotate as a player, it's just it hurts. Like you're trying to get back, you're trying to get somewhere safe. That's like the most stressful thing is like I have to give up this position. I can't contest both top red, and I can't contest two players pushing in CC. Like you can't do that. And if they have the CC wall open, they have CC1 open, which is the first wall that you had pointed out before. You have an angle looking all the way into construction. You can cut off the rotate. You can, and as that Ash pushes up red, that's a crossfire angle you will never win. I don't care how good of a shot you are. You're not going to be winning that 90-degree shot from both top red and CC. Like you got to get the hell out of there. And Jaeger had, and if Jaeger was able to get into construction and was able to hold construction, and Bandit hadn't rotated below, it would have gone differently. But the momentum of that round was shifting almost like it was shifting like hotcakes. Like they got the jacuzzi wall open, then the attack stalled because they didn't have control of CC. So now you're just going to be stuck in a blender trying to push that Mira. That's not the case. And so it was definitely a round. I agree with you so much that it was like a round of momentum that just kept on shifting back and forth.
Yeah. It's honestly, I was very surprised to see, like, so we're going to be moving on to round 8. And by the time we got to round 8, the score differential is literally 3-4. Like, that's pretty good. But one thing that's scary is Visionary on attack. And that's what we're going to break down on this round.
Oh my gosh, Visionary on attack, and more specifically Panic on that sledge. Panics just rushes in, and something that I like about Visionary, they play intel so well. They know that Catwalk's clear. They know they got a free avenue to push up. I mean, they know Catwalk's clear. They still they still contest it, but he's just pushing up. He gets the guy on red, and he's just contesting now. They made an honestly ballsy play to just push the sledge right in, but the biggest avenue for you to gain control of this site is that if you aren't watching that CC window and you can just rotate right in like he did, like Panix did here, he just went in and cleaned up shop. The most aces we see on this map are when that CC window is not watched. They made the call that CC window wasn't getting watched. They didn't have to worry about being contested pushing in. If they had breach open, it doesn't even matter. The CC window, you jump in, you're not worrying about getting contested from cash. That's free control, and he takes out the guy playing on red and he just pushes right in, and it was immediate control taken, playing off the intel. And I think it speaks to just how scary Visionary honestly is on attack. They are one of the better coordinated attack teams, and they play into the meta very well with clearing out the utility efficiently, and they play aggressively in a way that I don't think is honestly brain dead. I don't think they play this brain dead swing or get swung mentality. They push in playing off the intel. They push in knowing that they don't just have to go all cracked moving around corners like some boys that have been snorting G Fuel their whole life. They played smart.
Man, I honestly love that point you're bringing up, because more on the smart end that you're talking about, they pinch so well.
Oh yeah.
Like this IQ, here she is sitting on the balcony. This Hibana, she played such a crucial role. She was the droner. She was the one droning in all the way through here, spots the Valkyrie, forces the Valkyrie to then rotate into sight, which then results in Sledge getting the full control through here. IQ, she's getting full control inside Master. All while this is happening, Maverick and Zofia, they open up main breach. So now they got everything surrounded. And to put things even more of a deficit, this Jaeger, he decides to spawn peek. He tried spawn peeking this garage door, and then this Zofia, she just slammed this Jaeger. He's out of question now.
Oh my gosh, he got caught twice in a row lacking by Slash. Slash even hit him with the LOL in chat. I was cheesing. I was cheesing a little bit there. I was like, man, it's like they know you're pushing out. They have drones on you. That's what a drone in prep phase is for. You hold 2 of your drones for your hard breaches to enter in. Then you hold the common runouts. They had drones on him in prep phase. He should have heard that. And he goes right out, immediately met with a headshot from Slasher. And Slash is the T3 discounted Slash Hug. He's hitting his shots. He knows you're pushing out. He's gonna contest you, and you don't know where he's at. So it was like Slash kept that under control. Those early picks from the attack, really not a good idea from the likes of Hostile Actions, but Slash hit his shots.
Yeah, Slash was doing very well. Honestly, all of Visionary, they're really impressing me right now. More on the ends of what they won the map 7-3, correct?
It was,
Yeah.
yes, 7-3.
So they won 7-3, and then when they went to attacking, did they lose a single attack round?
Nope.
Yeah. So they were flawless on attack. To me, that is very impressive, because that means they went to the split 3-3, which it's pretty good for Clubhouse. But then they just immediately went 4-0 on attack. Like that, to me, that's scary. That's a scary team.
Yeah, and like the big thing, like looking at their stats from the map, like Slasher was 4-0 on entry, Panic 2-0 on entry, Pixel not having the best game ever, but going 0-3 on entry. But like just their early round control is incredibly impressive, especially on attack with a lot of those kills from Slasher, especially opening from attack. But we're going to be moving back over to our casters. I want to thank you guys for the time we had. We will be coming at you guys live yet again after the game.
Pon, Putin, thank you guys so much for everything there. That was fantastic. And Chief, the man, the myth, the legend himself, we are back in action. How do you think what the analysts were just saying is going to translate over into Theme Park? Do you think Visionary is still going to be that team that is, both hyper aggressive, but at the same time, well informed? And is it going to be another game for them, or what are you thinking?
So before we started map number 1, we are really highlighting how the attacking meta has finally caught up to Theme Park. And we've seen a lot of teams actually get really comfortable and have good attacking strategies. And the most important thing when an attacking meta actually catches up to the defending meta is the ability for the IGL to identify where the hold is and to adjust it on the fly. When the attacking meta hasn't really come into its own, the IGL doesn't know how to make the rotation. So basically what they do is they just try to continue to swing that sledgehammer straight into the brick wall, and that's never going to open up anything. But the beauty about Theme Park is we've actually seen a lot of attacking rosters change up their attack on the fly, and it catches the defense off guard because most defending rosters tend to play fixed deployable shields. And the beauty about Theme Park is you can move those shields. You can face them towards Cafe, for example, mid-round. It is dangerous to do, and you have to read the attackers on the fly and almost instantaneously. But that's going to be the thing to watch. How well Visionary and their IGL of Abidu is going to be able to adjust to the defense of hostile actions. But the problem is, Visionary, they're starting on defense once again.
Ooh, I think that's going to be something interesting to see exactly how Visionary is going to perform on defense yet again as we go ahead and swap right over to Theme Park, or coming up by oh man, I thought we were heading right into it. That is my bad again, you guys. But in any case, yeah, no, I think defense is definitely an advantage to have on Theme Park. You've got the first floor site of Armory Throne, which is still commonly regarded as one of the more defender-sided sites on this map. And on top of that, I mean, you have the very variable sites of top floor. You've got bunk daycare, you've got yourself office and initiation, and both of those can be played so many different ways like you were talking about. So I think it's going to be exciting. And if it's a defender-sided game, I think we might see a little bit of an overtime here. Both these teams might go punch for punch.
Well, we're going to have to see if that actually goes on through. Now, we've seen Theme Park once again today. And the thing about that was, it's a little bit one-sided. We're talking about how 1A really didn't adjust to the chaos that In Control Nation was bringing. In Control Nation, they had decent strategies, but where they really succeeded was in their aggression, their ability to win gunfights. And when you have somebody on the side of Visionary named Slasher, who just wins his gunfights, he just slashes through the defense, he slashes through the attackers, it doesn't matter what's in this man's hands, he just wins his engagements. And that motif might come again here into map number 2 if we've learned anything from In Control Nation. So how is Hostile actually going to slow down the aggression of Visionary both on attack and defense? Well, hopefully it's going to stem from their VOD review.
Yeah, I think that is definitely something important to do. And as we head into the future weeks of SCS, more VODs are going to be available. VOD reviewing is going to be very strong. And we'll see if this Theme Park game is going to be a very valuable one to check back in on for both of these teams here. So I am excited. Let's get on into it here for ban phase. I'm thinking we definitely see the Thatcher ban, potentially a Maverick as well, Chief. What do you think for attackers?
Honestly, with the new addition of Ace on the attacking pool, we've seen a huge divergence in the bans. A lot of teams were just basically defaulting Thatcher and Maverick and calling it a day. But now with Ace, teams really want to destroy the potential of opening up the entire wall. Now, Ace has been nerfed, so maybe that's no longer going to be a ban. You're just going to default with Maverick, who saw a lot of play in map number 1. But we've also seen Capital receive a lot of love on this map, and thus a lot of bans, simply because he can shut down power positions with his fire bolts. But it's going to be a default strategy as we're going to continue to roll through this ban phase. I think it's very important to note Hostile Actions did not call for the rehost. They want to have live bans for the time being. So all bans should stick unless the team captain says otherwise.
Yeah, I believe they are just going to wait for him to try and rejoin. So I think all bans will definitely stay. With that being said, so we see a little bit of funny stuff coming out about 4v5s. Panic was like, oh, we got this, blah, blah, blah. But, I know he's going to have some time to come back in. Mira is going to be the first defensive ban of this one. I think it's definitely a very valuable ban to bring on a map like Theme Park, especially for those second floor sites. You can put the Mira windows in so many little cheeky locations. And, ooh, a Valkyrie ban. What do you make of that?
Well, Valkyrie received a lot of love in map number 1, as providing a lot of information to both rosters, but mostly Hostile Action. So I'm accepting that as a ban because you want to nerf the attackers. You want to shut down the strategies they've pre-written. And something we're highlighting earlier, we're highlighting aggression, we're highlighting VOD reviews, but something that's very important, a lot of teams are creating strategies particularly to counter a roster. And the best way to shut down that counterplay is with the bans. So if certain rosters are very comfortable playing Ashe, for example, and Utility Consumption Simulator, well, you just instantaneously remove Ashe, and then Utility Consumption Simulator is going to be nerfed. Now, if they're playing Information Acquisition Simulator, and Valkyrie is a component of that, well, you instantaneously remove her because what are the defenders going to rely on? They can't utilize Echo since he's currently quarantined.
Right. And I think another important thing to bring up is Maestro. He's still a very valuable operator for that intel gathering, but he's not as versatile as the Valkyrie. You know, his cameras are going to be spotted fairly easily as long as you sort of understand common placements there. And where Valkyrie, they're a lot smaller. They can be thrown. You know, you can put them anywhere pretty much. Oh, God. Oh, God. Chief, we're putting you in competitive quarantine, my friend. You're going in the box with Echo. All right. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. But all right, in any case, God, I don't even know where to go with that. I don't even know where to
I
go.
just kill your train of thought. That's totally fine.
Honestly, man, that's a derailment right there. That's not even killing. That's just like a horrible like train of thought derailment. If you've ever seen the movie, what's it called? Shark Boy and Lava Girl, when they're going through and they're on the dream train, you know, and then that train just absolutely gets blasted off the oh my God.
What is this reference? Hold on, you can't just make a reference and just laugh about it without what is this
Have you never
reference?
seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No, I've never heard of it.
What the hell, man? This movie is like probably one of the most revolutionary movies of our time, dude.
What? Or I mean, I'm a boomer after all, so maybe I just missed it. Maybe young whippersnappers watch it.
It's like a B-roll movie that.
Well, that's why I haven't seen it. It's a B-roll.
But no, it was B-roll that it was so good that it became A-roll, basically. You know, just because everyone loved it so much.
So you're saying like Shark Tornado or whatever the heck that movie is.
It was better than Shark Tornado. Okay, it was about kids.
Sharknado, that's what it's called.
These kids, right? Particularly this one kid, he had amazing like dream powers or whatever, and he was able to like dream up people and things, and it was kind of funky, man. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely go back and watch it. It's got that I forget his name. It has this one. Oh God, I'm gonna have to look this guy up. No, it's not George.
We'll have
Lopez.
production look it up for us, and production can whisper in our ear what we're talking about.
Who was the other actor that was like very similar to George Lopez, where he was like a comedy guy? I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
George Lopez 2.0.
Okay, well, you don't have to hear me rambling anymore because we're gonna be hopping back over into it very soon here. Thank God. Get me off my topic. Then what are they talking about? SpongeBob SquarePants in the all chat? I swear to Lord, like what? Oh, okay. I'm gonna shut up for a minute. Chief, go.
Well, discombobulation reigns here as we begin map number 1, both in the lobby and the side of the casting booth. But hopefully we're going to be able to adjust that as we dive back into this series. And we're going to be starting off with Bunk Daycare. And we're highlighting Ace, an imperative operator on this map, because you can open up walls from range and a safe distance at that. Now, in theory, you can use Hibana and still open those walls from a safe distance. The problem is Ace opens up bigger holes. Now, sure, he's been nerfed recently, and he only has 2 drop downs with the Selman charges instead of 3, but that's still enough to open up a crouch-sized hole or a vaultable hole, where those X-Cairo pellets of Hibana, you would have to shoot 2 of them to get the same result. And for the time being, Ace is going to be a strong pick, and it looks like it's going to be trying to channel and control Nation, as it's going to be a Cali pick.
I like the Cali pick on Theme Park. You know, it harkens back to the days in another league. Mac, who's actually a substitute for Pride, absolutely slamming and dropping through the control hatch with the Cali. So we'll have to see if there's going to be any sort of nutty shots like that coming out today. But for now, it will be only theory as we wait for the prep phase to go through. Hostile actions being on attack first. I'm not quite sure if that's the move. I don't know whose side pick that was, but potentially they're just feeling really confident at the moment to be able to take attack first on a map like this. We just saw Theme Park earlier where it was actually, I believe, a 6-0 defender-sided split in favor of In Control. So if that's going to play through here now, Visionaries got themselves a pretty large advantage.
But maybe just temporarily. We actually have to see how this map plays out. And being the second newest addition to the competitive pool, there are still plenty of question marks. And teams, as the meta we are talking about gets closer and closer to even, teams are still not as comfortable. And that's the thing. T3 meta tends to delay just a little bit behind T1. So we're going to have to see what Visionary is actually going to do to shut down the aggression that Hostile Action is going to utilize. And it's going to be a very standard execute, at least for the time being, coming on the side by Hostile Action. They're going to be taking control of the east side of the map. But they have to tread very lightly, because Pixel is going to be holding maybe a pixel angle with an M590 and its SMG-11, as he can take just a little bit of damage as he tries to melee a window that has no help to him whatsoever.
This is going to be a little bit tough here for Pixel. He's going to have to make the decision whether he wants to contest this or fall back. And with that much time left on the clock, I think he's going to have to make the decision to pull back just a little bit. He's playing over aggressive right now, and there's about 3 or 4 attacking operators ready to bear down on him at any moment in time. And with only 17 bullets in the magazine, that's not really a not really a strong order of business there. It is a buzzsaw though, so I'll give it to him. Badger going to be potentially taking the nitro cell kill onto the Ash, but no, it's going to get caught. I believe that was by the ceiling, so a little bit unfortunate there. The use of explosives not going to net anything right now. Pretty much the entire attacking roster has made their way into the building at this point now, and they do have the flank watch of the Nomad, which is a really strong take on a map like this. So as long as she can put those charges down in the correct locations here, they will be able to execute their push effectively.
So the Nitro Cell landed right on top of PCs, and that could have been a free kill for Badger, but unfortunate circumstance for him, as his Nitro Cell is going to be caught on debris. Now Hostile Action has found themselves in a very unique predicament. They have to get control of washrooms. It's not going to work very well for the time being, as an M59 is going to find a kill, but fortunately it's going to be a free refrag for Hostile Action, as there's an instantaneously trade in that engagement, and that's going to be East control for the time being on the side of Hostile Action. But remember, the bomb site is still on the other side of the map. It's still 2 buffer rooms away, and Hostile Action hasn't cleared anything as of yet. It's one small island for them, but they're going to have to continue through this island hopping campaign if they want to be successful. Flashbangs and drones are going to start to work their way closer, confirm the players sitting over initiation have rotated away. And for the time being, they have, but rotated straight to the R4C. As Axton's going to find another free kill in this round. He's going to pre-fire, look for more, but no members of Vision are going to dry peek that for the time being. And the 20-second meta, the bane of every player, is going to force the engagements early, and more bullets continue to rain everywhere. But where's the answer back from Hostile Action? They need to push on through, but they can't. They're being choked away by the Toxic Babes. Zag is going to take a ton of damage, eventually felled away by Panics. Axton's going to find himself on a triple, looking for the quad, but down on his back as Visionary is going to win round number 1 purely off time.
Wow, okay. I mean, you've got 4 men alive if you're Hostile Action and you're not making the push. You know, with 30 seconds left to go, they had the time for a minute there, but I don't know what exactly happened there. Potentially just a miscommunication or something like that prevented the execution, and by the time they were able to get it done, just not enough time, even though the Ash was going crazy and getting all those kills there. So we'll have to see if that's going to change for the next rounds. I think that Hostile Actions is definitely going to get, you know, a little bit better of a launch off than that in these next couple rounds. But Visionary going down to Armory Throne for this one, and they're bringing a little bit of a lineup that potentially harkens to a little bit more of a turtle strategy here. I mean, you've got the Malusi in play. I think Jaeger with his new 2-speed is potentially going to be one to sit near or close to sight. What do you think, Chief?
Malusi is an interesting operator that allows you to have a lot of flexibility. You can put them in Dragon, you can put them in Split. And honestly, if I was a defender, I'd actually put them a lot upstairs, especially if you're doing that extension to that 2nd floor. And as you should if you're on the side of Visionary. Because remember, it's Hostile Action's imperative execute to take control of Cache and then follow that up through Office. That's going to allow them to utilize vertical destruction and then go for a yellow take. A lot of teams have really stemmed away from doing either the barrels execute or the maintenance execute because the defenders can just impact trick. The problem is, though, we're actually going to see a, well, as we love to call it, a Nitro Cell bonanza, and no impact trick bonanza for the time being. And what baffles me is teams are still relying on electrical units. Those are Bandits and Kaids on this map. They really don't work other than on this north wall. On the other 2 walls, east and west wall, it is incredibly imperative to impact trick. That's the only way of actually holding the wall, because they're going to be destroyed by frag grenades and impact and maverick tricking.
Yeah, really good point to bring up there, especially when you only have... Well, actually, no, I correct myself. I didn't see the Cade until now. But yeah, you have both Cade and Bandit on the board. Panic with the opening kill onto Axon. That's exactly who you need to take off, as Axon was so prolific in that previous round for Hostile Actions. But the immediate refrag is going to come out from Limbo. So now it's down to Slasher. Is he going to be able to hold the onslaught that is Hostile Actions out of Cash Room? Or is he going to be taken out as well? And are they going to get top floor control? And it's important to note as well, it's only 2 minutes. Or there is 2 minutes still left in this round, so not a whole lot of time has been expended. Jaeger's going for the run out. This is actually a beautiful play. He prepped it. Very smart from Slasher. He's able to get out of that situation. No health loss, no life lost. Beautiful.
Well, we talk about 3,000 IQ plays. That's a perfect execution of that coming by Visionary. And there are drones on the side of Hostile Action actively fishing, trying to confirm his location. And the problem is those drones are going to have to continue to look for him. Badger is going to get a free impact trick. One the Selmas did find his target, opening up a small hall, but the rest of it was, well, Bandit tricked away, and that looks like it's going to continue to happen on through. There needs to be some type of answer back from Hostile Action, but it's going to be Callie's responsibility to do that, and she's nowhere near. So that means you're going to have to start to relegate frag grenades, and you want to use frag grenades to push away the defenders, especially when they're doing a duo stack all the way over by the barrel's west wall. The attackers do have enough map control to go for the execute, but I'm a little bit concerned about their hard breach potential.
Yeah, I think at this point they're starting to lose. Well, actually, they've lost pretty much fully their hard breach potential because Ace is out of Selmas, so he has no more ability to get the walls. I think it is imperative that we notice that he did get a chunk of that thrown to maintenance wall open, so we can at least get a little bit of a visual and sort of keep the defenders held in place. But at the same time, this site is one with a lot of treacherous angles on the defensive side of things. So for Hostile Actions, it's just going to be a matter of droning them out, getting your intel, and eventually making the pushes. But at this point in time, 4 drones still left on the field. Axon died with 1 in his pocket, so we still have a lot of intel potential here.
But here comes Slasher. He's going to find one, but no, he's going to miss his shots. The crouch he wasn't prepared for. He's going to be shut on down. And here comes Hostile Action. They're going to steamroll their way on through. They have the man advantage, but the bomb might have been shut down. But no, it was a pre-aggression. It's going to work out perfectly. And now it is just Pixel stuck in this almost impossible scenario. Bomb is on the deck. Where is the answer back? And now it's just a 1v1 as they don't know the bomb is going down. It's going to be the miraculous clutch from Pixel. He's gonna raid into it perfectly. There's no answer whatsoever by Hostile. It's gonna be a blundered away in spectacular fashion.
Wow, okay, what a retake there from Pixel. I don't know if we can actually call that a full-on retake since he was still in the site, but beautiful job to him. He took it back from the brink of defeat, is able to pick up basically every kill that he needed to. The only exception to that is the down that happened from his teammate. So a 3v1 situation in favor of Visionary. Well done. I don't know what Zag is referring to down there in the chat with the LMAO, but in any case, beautifully done. I thought Hostile had that in the bag, but he just came out of nowhere with that one. I don't know if it was just a missed drone. What do you think, Chief?
Nash, my brain has been fried. I'm speechless. I'm discombobulated. That was the blunder of the century. Hostile Action did everything right. They dealt with the offsite pressure. They pushed in. They won their duels. But then they just forgot, hey, there's still one more member of the defense, and he's most likely in a bomb site somewhere. So let's set up a strategy to actively deal with him. And they didn't because they rushed. Remember, 10 seconds, even 5 seconds is enough to go for your execute. Be patient, play the clock, but be conscientious of Father Time because he can mess you up at times, but you can never rush. And it looks like we're going to need another rehost. The servers today have just been really just not nice to these members, and this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Hostile Action to talk amongst themselves and to adjust their attacking strategy.
Yeah, I think that might exactly be what Hostile Actions needs here, because on Theme Park, you absolutely need to win attack rounds. It is imperative that you at least pick up 2, I would say. You know, you need to get that 4-2 split, because then if you can go to the defender side of things and, you know, win your rounds there as well, which is, you know, I hesitate. It's not simple to do so, but, you know, there are some very highly defender-sided sites on this map, statistically speaking. So I think what Hostile Actions needs to do is they needed to cut the momentum, and whether it's intentional or not, you know, the servers having their problems today, this will help to do that. You know, you're going to be able to keep Visionary off of their reign of terror almost on this map so far. But Chief, what has really stuck out to you so far from this one?
Hostile Action just needs to slow down. They're running through their checklist perfectly. They understand how to attack this map, and they look very good at attacking this map. They've done 99% of their attacking rounds perfectly. The problem is that final 1%. It is the execute onto the bomb site. And that's probably the hardest part as an attacker, especially in IGL, is orchestrating that, because you can write down a strategy any way you want. You can tell where your entry fraggers want to go. You can tell your your support players where to place those drones and drone in your entries and work your way down through that checklist. But the problem is that checklist is never going to really have contingency plans for certain individuals being removed and certain actual like avenues of attack, because you can prepare for it, but sometimes your IGL is going to spot an opening. They're going to spot a potential rush. And technically Hostile Actions did that in round number 2. They saw the hole, which was split, and they pushed on through, but they just rushed that execute. If they're able to wait 2 seconds longer, rely on the drone economy they still had, they would have actually been a lot more successful.
Yeah, I've been in that situation before. You know, you get on, you know, what's a good way to put this? You get on almost like a it kind of feels like a sugar rush, you know, when you're getting all these frags and you're walking into sight and you're gaining a lot of control really quickly. You get a little bit overzealous, almost is another good way to put that.
Yeah.
And so you start making these plays and you overextend yourself a little bit, and then you find yourself caught out, and that's exactly what happened last round. So yeah, Hostile Actions just needed to tone it down a little bit, you know, get back, and this rehost is going to be able to help do that for sure.
We are talking about that rotation from top toilets all the way down
Oh,
to
yeah.
lockers. It was preset earlier. I said, why is Pixel meleeing this barricade? It does nothing for him.
Oh.
I was completely wrong. This was a genius strategy, and my 3 brain cells were too dumb to comprehend the giga brain that Visionary was currently utilizing. And then Nitrocell breaks my heart once again. It was perfectly set up. It was ready to Kobe. It was ready to shut down Accent. But sadly, the PCs just get in his way, and that stopped the attackers, or that could have stopped the attackers dead in their tracks.
Yeah, it looks like it didn't really matter, though, in the end, as Visionary did clutch up that round. It came pretty close there, but yeah, Visionary just had the upper hand on that one. So, you know, it was a missed potential. Might have stopped it a little bit sooner, could have ended the round a little bit quicker, but in any case, it still went to them. So I'm not too concerned with it. We'll see if he's going to be able to hit that later on, though. That'd be really fun. I love seeing Nitrocell kills because they don't happen all too often, but when they do, they're exciting.
Yeah, Nitrocell Bonanza, when it works, it works. Now that won't be till round number 2. And honestly, part of the play that still baffles me is how the M590 was able to actually, well, get a kill, but in the process, Pixel was actually downed. So, like, it baffles me how that actually transpired. But sometimes, you know, the game just tells you, nope, it's not going to work this way. The buck pellets are just going to work, or the buckshot, I guess that's what it's technically called, is just going to work in your favor.
Yeah, this game as a player can be very frustrating sometimes. You wonder to yourself, like, oh my lord, how did that cause that much damage? It's the same thing what happened during series number 1 with that Nitrocell through the floor, I think, that ended up killing, I forget who exactly it killed, but it was very frustrating because you have the shrapnel physics and all that fun stuff, and that's just another example right there. But in any case, we're going to be getting back into the game. It's going to be 2-0 scoreline in favor of Visionary as we head into round number 3, and Hostile Actions, they're hoping that as we head to the tertiary bomb site for Visionary, they're going to be able to. Uh-oh. Yep, looks like we are going to have a little bit of an admin rehost there as the score came back. Unfortunate there. Hostile Actions potentially hoping they could keep that score line, but it's not going to be the case. We're going to have to come back. So you're going to have to see my not so great face and Chief's beautiful one for just a few seconds longer. But oh my lord, yeah.
Nash, you're beautiful and gorgeous. I just want you to know that.
Oh, thank you. Oh. But no, but in all seriousness, man, I don't know. But in any case, Chief, what do you got behind you, man? I see some trophies back on the wall there. I just wanted to shout those out. Give yourself a little bit of a moment, you know.
Shout out all my trophies. Well, I guess if you guys don't know, I race cars, so when I'm not casting on the mic, and I know you guys missed me last week, I didn't cast Friday. I wasn't racing. Technically Friday we were running through a test day, we were running the car up north. We actually had our driving school. That was a lot of fun, giving back to the next generation of race car drivers. But that's kind of my trophy wall. You can actually see my steering wheel sometimes somewhere behind me. There it is. That's the wheel we just took off the car for a different one. So it's nice to have my stuff here, all my racing stuff. And fun fact, Halloween is coming up, and maybe my costume might be a race car driver. Maybe it's my helmet. Maybe it's my dad's driving suit. Just who knows? But some fun stuff coming up in the future. It's just my sneak peek for the time being.
Love to see that, and I'm kind of hoping that Ferme shows us his Halloween.
What's up,
costume,
homies?
Oh my God! I didn't even know
I'm Al. I'm no Al. Okay, there we go.
Hey Al, how's it going?
What's up? What's up? We're vibing. We're vibing. We're just gonna go through another rehost because, we're a little bit colorblind. You know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. So I mean, the game is gonna start pretty really soon. It's just stuff happens like this, so we just have to deal with it.
So I know we're Storm competitive series powered by HyperX, but I want to highlight your glorious fan back there, your Dyson weird
Let's
fan.
go. Do not say the brand name. They're not paying for our promotion. Do not say the brand name.
I said the brand name and have them sponsor me off the bat.
If they want to, they can. I mean,
yeah,
let's go. SCS powered by HyperX, R6 Lookup, and Dyson. Let's go, boys.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've got some fun news for everybody here. Super secret little package from our friends at HyperX has been shipped, so we might be seeing some amazing news coming out very shortly.
Right. All right, send it.
Are we sending it?
Are we sending it? Are we doing it?
For me?
Let's go. Let's go. We're sending it.
Full send, everybody.
Full send.
Let's send YOLO. Hey, and welcome back to the game. It is somewhere in the middle of this series. It's probably, hopefully, round number 3. Visionary should be up 2 rounds. And there it is, round number 3. That's half the step. And with Orange team in commanding lead. Well, 2 is not a commanding lead, but at least it's going to be the time big. Slasher says, do we play now? Of course you do, big boy. Here we go, my friends. Finally, round number 2. It's going to be initiation office. But will the team succeed? Hopefully one of them, and hopefully the servers actually work.
Oh my God, I think I just heard somebody like break something out in my hallway. I'm not entirely sure. Like things are getting knocked over. I don't know if I should go check that out or not. So Chief, maybe if you want to take for just a second while I go look.
Well, for the time being, my friends, you're going to be stuck with me, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. And as Pixel says, it is 4-1 in favor of Visionary. Now, what you don't know is Visionary has actually pioneered the DeLorean time machine, all stemming off from their lovely manager, Jason, who's put the majority of his restaurant earnings into delivering his roster time machine. So they can predict everything that hostile action does before it actually happens and then execute flawlessly. Now, where was that time machine at map number 1? Because Visionary started off a little bit slow. Well, it was actually spooling up. You need to charge it with extra love. That is how DeLorean time machines work after all. So it took Jason just a little bit of time to actually set that up. But it's enough of that. Let's dive here into round number 3, the tertiary bomb site.
All right, yeah, tertiary bomb site's looking pretty solid here for Visionary. I mean, it is very similar, I would say, to Bunk Daycare and in the way it's held. So if that's any case, I think they might be able to take the victory on this one. But we'll see here. Hostile actions looked really strong in that last attack round, and it just came down to a matter of a few unfortunate circumstances, and those unfortunate circumstances being the 1vx clutch from the side of Visionary. So we'll have to see here. So I am back. People were throwing trash cans actually in the hallway at my door, so that was really fun. Love the dorm life, but now we're back. In any case,
graduate, forehead. That's all I have to say.
Hey, I've got like 5 more months, man, and then I'm gone. So I'll be very happy. What happened?
Well, my friend, that was a spawn peek. Just Dom is going to learn the hard way. As actually, you can't even spawn peek there. What on earth? Did the map just tell him, no, you're not a lead? What? Well, we're talking about my brain cells turning into mush and jelly. Well, discombobulation is going to continue here in round number 3, as just Dom is going to learn the hard way that it's imperative to stay in your spawn for as long as possible and never leave it because you're going to take damage from the map. honestly, I'd be fascinated to know how that happened because I didn't hear a spawn peak whatsoever. I didn't hear any bullets going down range. And sometimes the game just tells you it doesn't want to exist. So, oh no, it was actually a team kill from Cali. So, no idea how that happened.
I am so confused. I'm not going to dwell on it too much longer. We already talked about it, but like how does that happen? Like, well, you get yourself down to 20 HP just for funsies, I guess. I don't really know. But we're back at it. Minute 40 seconds left to go in this one. It looks like the attackers have already taken pretty solid control of the east side of the map. They're into control room right now, and Ash has already exploded one of Goyo's extra super boomy shields with the flames. So that is a huge detriment to this defense as well, because they're almost counting on that with, oh, actually Smoke is still on their roster, but on this side of the map at least, they were counting on that shield to delay time. Now it's just going to be a battle of the frags. Wall has been opened here. Believe that to be by the ace, and yes, indeed it was. So we will have to see who's going to come out on top. Badger tries for the peek, but he's going to get very much lit up. And Chief, who do you think is going to take this round? Still 5v5, minute left to go.
It's impossible to tell who's going to win these engagements, but all we can confirm is that it's a 10-man lobby. Now drop that down to an 8-man lobby. Here comes Axton. He's going to try to find some kills, but unable to do so. The refrag is going to be perfectly back for Zag, and he's in a position to go for the bomb. The Toxic Babes are going to go out. They're going to try to stuff him away. The first one misses, but the second one's going to work in its favor. But Slash is actually get downed by it as he was getting far too aggressive. He's going to be shut down for free as Abney is going to work his way over the SMG-11. It's going to be a crush onto the site for the two SMG-11 pros as they're going to defend the round with their submachine guns and clean everything up.
That was phenomenal there from Pixel. Just a beautifully timed swing. He was able to catch both of them pretty much off guard, and I don't think he even returned a whole lot of or got a lot of return fire in exchange for his trouble. So beautifully executed. Visionary picks up another round. Now it's 3-0. And if you're Hostile Actions, you need to be thinking, what can we do to break up this momentum? The rehost, you know, it happened, and it was a very long rehost at that, and that didn't cut the momentum at all. So what do we need to do as a team to eliminate these fraggers? Because I really think that's what it's coming down to, is Visionaries just getting their kills when they need to. There's no other real explanation than that. They're playing it well.
That's a great summary. Now we're going to see the primary bomb site come out once again, and for Visionary, it is going to be Bunks. Now, in our first series of the evening, we saw In Control Nation actually deliver the quaternary bomb site, which is Drug. Now, Drug has actually seen a lot more play recently because it actually forces the attackers into a unique predicament. Do you execute from above, clearing the defenders upstairs, or do you do a very linear take and clear the defenders downstairs? Now, the answer to that question isn't as simple as it sounds. You're actually required to do both. And it's going to force the attackers to put 2 players on the bottom floor, 2 players on the top floor, and an individual either sandwiched between or droning in his other 4 mates. And the brilliant thing about that is it takes away so much time. You can couple that potentially with a Pulse or Nitrocell Bonanza over and Throne, and it's going to be almost impossible for the attackers to actually achieve their goal of map control. So maybe Visionary is going to pull that out as a pocket strategy.
That might be a good adaptation here, honestly, as they've won with their traditional strategies so far, and Hostile Actions, no matter their positioning, they're going to start getting accustomed to those strategies. So if you throw a Pulse into the mix and you start playing people below or for a late flank, whatever you might want to do, I think that could potentially lead to even more success for this defense and could potentially translate into a 6-0 split. But at the same time, right now, it's looking like it's going to be that same position being held by Pixel here. He's deciding to fall back a little bit earlier, though. Actually, never mind that. He's going to go right back in. So he's going to try and play his life, potentially do the same thing Jaeger did in round number 2 and jump out that window and escape if need be.
So, Nash, it's hard to tell the speed that Pixel is moving, but it looked like he shift sprinted away and then alt walked back in to this place. And, well, the thing behind this is he's trying to bait the attackers and think that he's rotated away. Uh-oh, Pixel, you can't walk in front of that, and you might get shut on down. He's going to flirt with death, but for the time being, the attackers were unable to actually punish that aggression. And for the time being, Pixel's position will be known as well as Panic's. It's a dual crossfire for the defense for the time being.
I don't think Panic was spotted out. I think they misdroned him. I could have been wrong, but it looked like the orientation of the drone was only focused on the mute player there, or the smoke player, I guess I should say. Oh my god, and yes, it was true! Look at, oh, he's got the M870! What is this BM? He's taking the M870, bro.
I've been saying this on Twitter for weeks now. Give the M870 the ACOG, but it doesn't matter when Panic is on the board. He's going to get a lot of death in that round, and it's going to be Visionary tacking on the death and destruction even more, as there's no answer back whatsoever from Hostile Action. They don't know how to deal with Shotgun Bonanza. That is a new term I'm going to utilize, ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty then, everybody. What a round there. I don't know what was going through their heads, but I mean, the M870 showed itself to be a really viable asset. And I think what I was saying there, I'm sorry to cut you off too earlier, Chief, but I saw that that drone didn't exactly spot the Jaeger. Jaeger was playing really heads up. He turned his HyperX headset all the way up and was able to hear the footsteps, and he just decided to swing, and it played out very, very well. And then Mute was able to go down long hallway and absolutely clean up shop. So beautifully done here by this Visionary roster. So now, Hostile Actions, you've got to respond, my friends. You need to pick up at least one round here and save yourselves from the early match point.
Brilliant uses of product placement, and hopefully Hostile Action is really going to be able to hone in on their sounding abilities and confirm the location of the defenders for the time being. That is going to be a lot of ADSs stacked in one location. There's going to be all three of them on the side of Visionary over here on the east side of Throne. And this is for the utility dump and utility consumption simulator. Most attacking rosters tend to throw all their flashbangs over the wall, and then followed by frag grenades. Now, fortunately for the side of Hostile Action, they have 9 flashbangs, so all those ADSs can be shut down for free. The last time we were here, in round number 2, we actually had a Wamai still in play, so that was able to grab even more of that utility. But it's going to be, once again, Malusi in this lineup. Actually, they didn't run Wamai, that's up. They ran Wamai in round number 4, so pardon me for that. But Malusi is still going to be a big factor, even though she doesn't have impact grenades. She's once again going to be triple downing on the Nitro Cell Bonanza.
Oh, I spy a big brain play right here. Oh my god, that's genius. Look at that. This is a new use of Malusi that I haven't really personally seen yet, but you're putting the Malusi charge up in control. When somebody either inevitably drops the hatch or runs in through that top dragon window, you're going to be able to hear them on the Malusi charge, and as they destroy it, you'll be able to blow the Nitro and get the kill. That is huge brain right now. And I was about to make a comment about Window Punch Simulator 2020 from Visionary, as that seems like all they want to do right now on those windows. But at the same time, what a play there that we could potentially see come into action.
Once again, Visionary is bringing out the 3000 IQ. It might not work out very well for them, as it's going to be a split execute for Hostile Action. 2 of them are coming from the east, 2 of them are coming from the west, and it's going to be the as Panic. He wanted to get some kills of his own, but the only thing he's going to find is his own demise, as a wide swing is not going to work out well for him. That is going to be her Malusi off the board, as well as her Nitro Cell. Now, fortunately for the defenders of Visionary, it was the Nitro Cell of Bandit Badger that was placed by those disco balls of death. But it's going to be meleeed away. Where on earth is the Nitro Cell? It's not going to answer back whatsoever, and Zag is going to be able to flirt with death for the time being.
Yeah, that big brain play just got dissolved immediately there. I think potentially the Malusi dying so early made the Bandit get off of his position to be able to hear that charge go off. So in any case, yeah, that Nitro Cell is going to be a little bit wasted right now. But we'll see exactly what's going to come of that later. Axon has decided to rotate all the way outside of Drug Window, and he's going to be being assisted by Limbo from above. This is beautiful. I think they potentially might have thrown somebody out. That is going to be the Jaeger. Yes, they have inside of Lab. And get ready for the push here, everybody. We've got Nomad coming in from bottom arcade. We've got the Ash outside the window, and that's going to be, oh my lord, exactly what we were waiting to see here. Axon takes out the rotating Jaeger.
Well, Hostile Action is going to make the adaptations they needed. They're going to start to succeed in round number 5, but they haven't actually achieved their goal. Their goal is waiting round number 5, and they're going to have to start to push away the defenders even more. Pixel is going to be in the exact same place he was last time, and he was so important here. He was able to clutch out the round in a miracle play. And where's the defenders? Well, most of them are still stuck on the south side. The attackers actually might know this. As drone's going to come on through, We're going to find another kill moving in for Ash. Things, again, are continuously crumbling for Visionary. But you have the Alda still up alive. Pixel's going to go for the wide swing. He's going to be shut on down. And it's going to be a pistol in hand for Axton as he's on a quad. He's going to be attempting the ace. And the loud Alda of Abadu is going to give away his position. Dom's going to be shut down. A nice headshot rolling on through, but the bomb is now on the deck.
Yeah, this situation is not where you want to see if you are a Visionary fan right now. You've got the Maestro in the 1v3 as he cuts down a couple people here. He's going to have to ace clutch, and he's going up against the potential ace here from Axon, who is currently holding the angle outside of Dragon. I believe I spotted a Maestro cam who was watching that position, but it is going to be Zag who sort of steals the ace away and takes out Abadu for the round win there. That is exactly what they needed. It's going to make it 4-1 on the score line. So potentially shifting back into favor of Hostile Actions here, but I think it is going to necessitate the win of round number 6 to make it 4-2 to make it really, effective for Hostile Actions in their defense.
But the thing is, 4-2 splits are very common, and technically Hostile Action has accomplished 50% of their goal. If they're able to win the next round, they'll be in a perfect standing as they move to their defense phase. But that is imperative that they win this bomb site. It's going to be initiation room once again. And honestly, this seemed like one of the worst bomb sites in favor of Visionary. They seemed a little bit lackluster in this hold. They weren't able to hold the fatal funnels, and they weren't able to hold their power positions. They ended up winning this round in a miraculous fashion once again because of the pure mechanical skill of Visionary and the fact that the two SAS operators were able to just push through smoke and click heads.
Yeah, that is going to be the objective right now. I mean, Axton on that last round as well was doing just that. So potentially if he's able to get a few more kills in this one, we might be looking at that 4-2 split we were talking about. But at the same time, these top floor sites have gone in favor of Visionary each time they've been taken. So might just swing in the opposite direction. We might be seeing a 5-1 here, but it's a little bit too soon to tell. I think with the momentum shift that we saw last round, Hostile Actions is going to be coming in hot this time. And it's really going to rely on the hands of everybody. I can't really single out just one player, too. You need every single one of your players to perform if you want to be able to pick up these rounds and pick up the potential win.
So what strategy will Visionary try to employ? Will they also send themselves straight out this west window as our compass begins to have an aneurysm? You try to talk about the compass, you try to highlight the importance of it, and then all of a sudden it goes kaboom straight in your face. But I don't think it's going to be Hostile Action's turn to explode this round. I think it might be on the side of Visionary to lose this round. And that's a very precarious position to be in. Visionary is going to have to create a strategy where they're able to snipe away drones and delay as much time as possible. And the problem is they've already retreated back to their bomb site. So all the buffer rooms, basically Hostile Action just has to walk in and claim them. But it looks like it's going to be more shotgun rain as it's going to be the M59 or M762 claiming a kill.
I couldn't tell, and I don't think that was an even trade. It looks like it was actually the Nomad who finished off, or potentially the Ace as well. So I don't think it was a trade for that kill, but that's exactly what you need as both Hostile Actions and Visionary is just even up the man count a little bit for each other. So beautifully done to both teams there. Pixel still holding his favorite position there in the bathroom. And I think that Hostile Actions has to realize that he's there, and that might be exactly why we're seeing the push towards control side. Well, Mai looks like he's getting a little bit cheeky, and he might go down the long hallway, potentially going to catch the ace unaware at this point if he actually goes ahead and through with his plan. Goyo is going to be contesting the angle on Axon, but I don't know if you want to peek this Ash. He's just been a gunner in these last couple rounds here, Chief.
He's been unstoppable, and the attackers are in a perfect position to go straight through pillar and go for the bomb plant. Here comes the utility dump, and the answer back with a nitrocell, but unable to actually deal out any damage. And the attackers are just waiting for information. The nitrocell hasn't been detonated as of yet, but the R4C of Axon can get aggressive. He can go for the wide swing and shut that on down. He's just waiting for more information. There goes the Cali lands, and the nitrocell now shut down. And an answer back for Visionary. That is going to be a toxic babes. It's going to be 10 seconds of temporary denial, 30 seconds of potential denial if Abadu is able to land all of them in the perfect position. But the thing is, he doesn't have enough Toxic Babes to actually utilize it in an appropriate manner. He only has 20 seconds denial, and it looks like hostile action is going to be stalled out temporarily, but they're going to call for the horses. The pushing to come on through. Just Dom is going to get a kill of his own, and Ash is now down on the ground with a bomb on the deck.
Beautiful distraction play almost there as, ooh, Dom with the triple kill. Look at that headshot. Oh my lord, what a play. But yeah, it was great job, great heads up play and thinking to get your Ash deep into sight like that, be able to prevent the defenders from seeing the plant almost, and now it's down to a 1v3 situation because of that. We have Dom, who's completely on a tear this round, over with the rest of his team now in this situation. They're going to be holding these crossfires, holding the angles. Ace looks like he's actually going to get aggressive with the swing, and that's going to be all they need with a beautiful headshot onto Abadu. Ends the round, makes it a 4-2 split. Still in favor of Visionary, but that's exactly what Hostile Actions needed to do.
The attempt to drop shot by Smoke isn't going to work out well at all for them, and that's going to be the 4-2 split as you were highlighting. It took Hostile Action 4 rounds to figure out how they wanted to attack, but it works out well for them, and they're in a perfect standing as they're now on defense. We have to highlight that round, though, for Hostile Actions. It looked like things weren't going in their favor. They were starting to stall out. They were trying to grab information, and that they did, but they were just waiting to pounce. They're trying to lull the defensive Visionary into this false sense of security, and then all of a sudden the guns of Hostile Action comes live. They start to win their gunfights, and Visionary doesn't have an avenue to pounce back onto that bomb site.
Oh yeah, well, really well done, Chief. I have to agree with you on all your points there. And last minute 6 pick coming out. We actually see the Cali coming into play here for Visionary. So Badger, who was on the IQ for the majority of his attacks during Clubhouse, is now going to be swapped onto the Sniper Operator with the Pocket F2. So we'll have to see how that's going to impact right there. And, oh, another important thing to note is Diffuser actually was able to be planted both of those attacking rounds that Hostile Actions was able to win. So looking like they are the objective playing sort of team here. We're going to have to see if that translates over to their defense as well. Another thing that I like about these defenses is the Mozzie take. You know, it's really important, and you pair him with the Mute, and we see something that looks a lot like that Intel Denial meta that we saw about 3 or 4 seasons ago at this point. Really, really nice decision, in my opinion.
So once again, it's going to be a downstairs hold with an extension upstairs. It's going to be on Visionary to identify this and push away the reinforcements and the utility that Hostile Action has set up. The problem with the utility that Hostile Action is starting to utilize is it's all facing the east. If Visionary does their homework, they can actually drone this out and push from the west. They're going to do exactly that. Now, there is one castle barricade over on the cafe's side, but these drones are going to confirm that, and that's going to rotate the utility of Visionary on over to deal with that. And they actually have all the utility at their disposal. You can utilize one of those Ash breaching launchers, or you can utilize Slasher as well with that sledgehammer, as it's going to rip that shield on down. That will telegraph the position of Visionary, though, and what more will do that is those pre-made holes all the way over here in Cafe. Panic's going to think better about this decision, and now it's going to be an arcade vault in.
I am liking the angles that are being held here by this defensive team, but Panic is going to read them like a book, actually, as he swings in and secures the first headshot onto Axon, who's been an amazing fragger for Hostile Action so far. That eliminates pretty much the entirety of the roam presence, I do believe, as their last defender that was holding upstairs elects to drop the hatch and just get back into sight, which is a very good idea for him. Pixel's going to take some HP loss, actually, from the castle, who actually, in a really bold move, decides to peek all the way up into Top Dragon. Not something you see every day, but I guess the 1.5 scope is there for something. And right now, just going to come down to who really plays better in terms of, you know, your verticality, because at this point you're enabling this offensive team to really do what they want because you've given up the roam, and the remaining defenders are going to have to be a lot more wary of that.
But the attackers of Visionary still have a big checklist in front of them. Sure, part of that is taking that vertical destruction, but you haven't done any hard breaching. You're going to need to start opening up walls, and you're going to have to coordinate with your IGL where you want to push through. Limbo's going to spot the head of Slasher, and he's going to start to remove it. Panic is on the hunt for a member who could be off site, but using our God vision, we know that all the defenders have now rotated back over the bomb site, and they're going to remain there for the time being. Now, a set of frag grenades has been removed, and it's really on Visionary to start to open up these walls. You have to do that now. Callie's going to start to send her sniper rifle down range. It's going to find its target true. Devil's going to be on his back, but he's in a potential area where he can get res. He's over by Firebox, which is just enough to get shot on through, but Panic's going to finally shut him. It's going to be the air jabs raiding out too, trying to push out the players on the south side, and it's going to be a flurry of kills rolling through as somehow Ash is able to win her gunfights.
Panic, you are absolutely nuts, my friend. Going off this round, getting your team back on the horse in terms of momentum. Beautifully done there. And as a defender, you have to watch out. Those Ashe players, they can sneak up on you whenever, especially a smart Ashe player. You know, a lot of times, if you just have an Ashe that's all going for guns, you can counter that. But when you have an Ashe player that's going to capitalize on the rest of her team making movements and is going to go and do a solo push based off of them, that's what you got to worry about. And that's exactly what Panic did there. And Callie, beautiful job getting the down when you needed to. Not fun to have a win mag round tossed at you. And I think Mozzie found out the hard way on that defense there.
Temporarily, yes, but Hostile Action has been a team that has been able to make adjustments on the fly. We saw it in map number 1, and I'm guessing we're going to be able to see that here in map number 2. Now, Hostile Actions has had technically 2 timeouts if we consider the rehosts that we've had here in map number 2. And it took them a while to synergize and understand the mistakes they were making, but they corrected them nonetheless. And, well, they can learn from their first defensive hold that, hey, we had a perfect offsite pressure, but we are getting too aggressive. We had far too many overextensions, and it started to degrade their hold because they were overextending. They were peaking too much, and when you're having this really exaggerated, grandiose roam upstairs, well, you have to play the clock. Your job is not to get aggressive. It is to snipe away drones and fall back. That is the imperativeness of the well-staged roam, which is what it's called. You shoot a drone, you fall back to a new buffer room, shoot another drone, fall back, and so on until you get to the bomb site or until you have a potential avenue to get a kill.
Yeah, really good points there, Chief. And we're going to have to see if, you know, this round Hostile Actions is able to, you know, sort of capitalize on honestly everything that they've needed to do this whole game. And I mean, they've got the defense to do it. It's just a matter of sort of shutting down Visionary and you know, enabling your own fraggers and enabling your own roamers, because that's really what Visionary did well on their defense, I would have to say as well. So here we are. Panic has already made his way inside the building. He's clearing out the first floor dutifully, droning himself, as I would say. He's no Monty, obviously, but there we are. He's going to be able to get the Ashe charge out in a perfect place onto the Wamai. I believe he got droned in for that one at the very least, but is not going to be able to find a kill just yet onto that. And at this point in time, it looks like Visionary is just absolutely tearing map control out of the hands of Hostile at this point.
Now it's going to be a second or first floor clear temporarily for Visionary. They're going to try to deal with his utility, and it's going to be Panic tapping away. He's going to find the kill, but the refrag to answer that back for both of these rosters, as it's still going to be Visionary just slightly in control with the +1 advantage. And when unbridled aggression meets unbridled aggression, it's always going to be in favor of the team with the man advantage. Visionary is going to play into that perfectly, as they now have control of the east side of the map, but they still have more buffer rooms to deal with.
Oh man, yeah, those buffer rooms are going to be a little bit tough to get through, especially when you still have 3 members on the defensive team ready and waiting to accept you into the loving arms of their bullets. But in any case, still a man advantage in favor of Visionary. They're opening up the hard breaches, and they're starting to get a little bit closer to their ultimate goal of taking site. It's just going to be a matter of who wins these gunfights, honestly. And right now, with the shield positioning and the ultimate overall positioning here of this defense, I think it could go in favor of Hostile Actions.
It's still impossible to tell, but with the +1 advantage, you might be right. It might go in favor of Hostile Action, or it might go in favor of Visionary. 45 seconds to find that out. Damage being dealt to both these rosters, but Abadu is going to be the big loser in that exchange. But Panic is going to attempt to do what he does best, win engagements and collect heads. He's going to be working his way through, but shot in the back for the 180-degree quick snipe as he's going to try to punish the player on through. Pistol in hand, the flashbang to answer back, but nobody's home other than death and destruction, as Dom is going to get the kill of his own and back to equal man count with 20 seconds on the clock. Badu will be attempting to find a kill of his own. Couple that with Callie's sniper rifle. The attackers have the avenue for the bomb plant. They're just a little bit aware of where the offside pressure. And it's going to work out perfectly as a double kill by Badger. Couple that with Pixel. It is going to be match point, series point in favor of Visionary.
All right, what a take there from Visionary, where it looked like it was going to be potentially hostile actions. They brought it down to a 2v2 there. They used their intel that they had. You know, the players that were dying were calling out in chat exactly where things needed to be, and they executed so well. So beautifully done to them. I'll give them that. But hostile actions, well done to you guys as well. You took that rush, or not the rush, excuse me. You took that push, and you eliminated it down to that 2v2 situation, and you gave them only a couple seconds to capitalize on that. So I can't fault you at all on that defense. And Axon is wondering why they're putting Cali on entry, but just ask a couple players from this league, and they will tell you Cali is an entry through and through, as long as you put her in the right hands.
The thing is with Cali, though, you can be flexible, and that's why usually flex players tend to play that operator. And in my humble opinion, maybe there's some bias in being a flex player myself, is flex players tend to be the best overall well-rounded players because they can play any role. If you need them to frag, they'll frag. If you need them to play a support role, they'll play the support role. And when you give a gun that one hits downs to maybe one of your most versatile operators and one of your versatile members of your roster, well, you can utilize them as an entry fragger because you're going to be dry peeking into your own death and demise. But we were highlighting the quaternary bomb site earlier. We saw it in our first series of the day, and we're going to be now seeing it in our second series. Now, this is going to put Visionary into a very awkward predicament, as we were highlighting earlier. Are you going to be electing to do a second floor roam clear, utilize vertical pressure, and shut down the defenders in their own bomb site, or you can do a very linear execute and clear straight into throne? Or I guess there's a third option that is full send YOLO straight through one of the windows.
Well, I mean, Badger's back on the IQ, and if memory serves me right, IQ Badger is exactly the sign that they're going to send it straight through a window or through, you know, some crazy rush angle, and Pixel already being inside the building is going to confirm that a little bit. Plus, it's Drug Lab, so if any site is going to accommodate that, it's going to be this one. And 2 minutes 20 seconds left to go in the round. They're already taking control completely almost of top floor here, and I think it's just going to be down to the Jackal sniffing out the toes of the defenders who are off site. They are in Armory and Throne, and they might be able to get a quick cleanup of this one. Panic, though, is, oh my lord, his location is getting known very much with a Peeper and a Legion Mine, but it's going to be a kill. I believe that was almost through the floor onto Pixel by the Legion, so very well done to Axon on that one. 2 minutes left to go, and right now Hostile Actions is doing a fairly good job of slowing down this quick take.
Chaos reigns in the lobby. Visionary is going to continue to utilize their vertical destruction. But do they know they're so close to death? It's going to be Panic for the time being. He knows he is near his own demise, but does he know the potential that's happening behind them? There is a big flank on the east side of the map, and it's a player just playing the time and playing Father Clock, as it's going to be the 11th man as the 11th hour here in match point. There he is, it's Axon. He's going to work his way on through. He's going to spot two. The pre-fire is going to work out well as they all line up for him. It's going to be a double headshot in this round, as it's now the defenders in control of the top floor. Abadu and Panic, the two FBI operators. It's going to be a full send strategy straight through the west window, but they're not going to do their due diligence and check their corners as Limbo's can get the 2 free kills of his life.
What just happened there? I've got a comment on that one. Ash, you flashed him out and just run right past him. You can't do that, especially in a man-down situation, especially in a two-man-down situation, and that's going to give Hostile Actions a round right there. But on the back as well of Axon playing that Legion, beautiful job upstairs, so I can't, you know, detriment from that. But Ash, what are you doing? You got to check your corners a little bit better than that one. But here we are. It's 6-3. It's still match point here for Visionary. So at the very minimum, we are going to see an overtime here if Hostile Actions is going to bring it back. But we will have to see a perfect, 3 more defensive wins in a row here in order to see that. And that's going to be a tall order, but it's one that I think Hostile Actions of any team here are going to be well set to do. Their strategies are starting to come alive now. They're starting to wake up, and they can get this one.
The thing was, they just won the quaternary bomb site, and we're talking about the mirror fallacy in round 1 of map 1. But you can kind of apply that here. Most teams are doing 6-6 scrims, which means you play the same bomb site twice, and then follow that by 2 additional bomb sites for a total of 3 bomb sites. which means you're really never going to have the option of playing the quaternary bomb site. You're not going to have the option of studying it and practicing it unless you ask the other roster, hey, can you play this quaternary bomb site, which does come sometimes, but not enough to really be consistent and to have your due diligence on understanding how to execute. So maybe that's the one fluke for Visionary. They attacked the one bomb site they didn't understand, and you can probably justify that since we saw Visionary do a full send YOLO rush through one window.
Yeah, I think that's important to note as well. I mean, if you are hostile actions, you have to assume that when they're given this sort of situation that Visionary is going to play very aggressive. And in a way they did, but they took a really aggressive top floor control. But at the same time, hostile actions did capitalize on that. I mean, you see the Legion getting a triple kill. He worked his way up Dragon Stairs, I believe. He went completely for the back flank, and it was just a beautiful job by him. So we're going to have to see if some of that same mentality is going to come out from hostile actions in their defensive round now. Accents onto the Jaeger, but Devils is actually going to man of action in this one, and he's going to get a beautiful headshot on a Panic. Of all people, that is not who you want to lose in the opening seconds of the round.
A preset bullet hole is going to be Panic's undoing, and we highlighted Slasher in map number 1. The man was getting the majority of the kills, and he's really been silent after the second rehost here in map number 2, and we're going to need him to change what he's doing. Maybe he's getting too aggressive, maybe he's playing too passive. Nonetheless, he's not finding the impact in the rounds that he was earlier. Now, the last time we were here on theme, we did see a duel execute, part from the east, part from the west, and it was basically boa constricting the entire defense of hostile action into very precarious positions where they had no choice other than getting aggressive or retreating on back. But Axon's going to be doing the same thing he did last round. He's going to be playing this castle barricade, and as soon as it gets opened up, he's going to have that carbine start to sing and send bullets down range. He's going to spot the feet of one, but the only thing that's going to happen is answer back as the drones of Visionaries can confirm his location, and they're going to have to create the counter strategy.
Oh man, that drone really caused him a lot of trouble there in the second one, even more so as that is going to be Badger getting the confirmed kill onto Axe and evening it out to a 4v4 here. We got a minute and 20 left to go. They have control of Office right now. They're going to be able to start playing very vertically as Devils himself actually falls back onto the first floor. So they've wasted a lot of time, however, so really good on hostile actions for that. But at the same time right now, Visionary with this amazing top floor control, they still have their hard breacher on the board. They might be able to get something started on this one. But look at this positioning here from Dom, and that is also Devils there. They're both holding inside of Drug. They're going to be able to contest this Jackal, but it's going to be Badger who actually gets the first kill of the last section of this round onto Dom. It's going to be Pixel finding Devils, and right now it's down to a 2v4, and those roamers just got caught out. So beautiful droning job or intel job from Visionary.
The time being, though, Visionary doesn't have full command of this round. They're still going to have to push away the two lone defenders, and that challenge is going to be even harder, as a Nitrocell on vertical destruction is going to punish one of your most important players. Here comes the aggressive swing on through. Jackal's going to be shut on down, and that's going to be equal man count, and it's going to be more death and destruction for Visionary, as somehow it's going to be the impossible scenario for hostile action as they're able to fight round 10 back all off their mechanical skill. Who's going to be knocking? It's going to be Mute at your door.
Limbo, you are absolutely cracked, good sir. Way to go. Well played. Just beautifully done. Honestly, there's not a whole lot I can say about that. He just played his position perfectly. He played for his life. He didn't overextend. He swung when he needed to swing. He got his kills. And that's exactly all you can hope for, because you don't want to leave that in a 1v3 situation with Castle. No offense, Zag, because you're an amazing player, but Castle as an operator has probably the worst defensive gun on the board. Very slow fire rate. Even with the 1.5, there's not a whole lot you can do when you've got 3 people bearing down on you. So the Mute did that perfectly. Great crossfire. Great job.
You hating on my UMP, man? The UMP
I'm
has
hating
no
on it.
recoil,
I mean,
dude.
if you hit your heads, you hit your heads, man. But in a 1v3, you're most likely really not going to hit your heads because you're under a lot of stress, so your aim is going to be just slightly off. So that's just my take. Your take is valid, but...
Well, like we were saying earlier, just click heads, forehead. That's all you need to do in this game. You'll win every one of your engagements if you just hit headshots. If your first bullet just goes straight to the cranium, boom, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's going to be a free kill for you. There we go. That's Chief's hot take, and that's tips with Chief, how to learn this game. Just click heads. That's the most important thing. Now, Visionary has been trying to live by that motto, and they've been succeeding in the majority of their engagements, where the past 2 rounds, we've seen hostile action begin to claw their way back. And it seems like Visionary is starting to skip steps, especially in the latter parts of the round, where they have man advantage, but they're just pushing solo engagements. They're going for 1v1 exchanges, and hostile action is equally gifted in the mechanical skill department, and they're able to win those exchanges. So remember, when you have the man advantage, you always have to present it in 1vx scenarios, 1v2s, so you force the defenders to go into crossfires.
Yeah, exactly, Chief. And how, as a player, do you have to counter a team that is very strat heavy? And that's to, you know, strat yourself almost. You have to get your frags as well, but at the same time, you need to be able to counter whatever the defense is throwing at you. And right now, Visionary is not doing that. Hostile Actions is holding exactly the way they needed to hold. Visionary, they're able to get some walls open, but they're not really executing or adapting to the strategies that Hostile is presenting. And that really leaves them open to take those 2v1 engagements in favor of Hostile and just whittle down the numbers of Visionary. So we'll see if that's going to maintain here in this one. We've got Dom playing a really aggressive position right now on the yellow stairs. Badger and Panic are playing below, so if they just walk in the wrong direction here, we might be potentially seeing a man-up situation for Hostile. Knock on wood for them, because Caster's Curse is very real.
Well, if you're a fan of hostile action, you need to be typing in all chat. Start to cheer for your team. They need your support, as it's a 10-man lobby with 10 members up and alive. And the man that has been silent the entire time after the second Rios, Slasher's going to find his first kill. That is going to be one of your best flex players now shut on down. And once again, Visionary is going to have the command of a round, but what will they be able to do with that? As air jab is going to go off, that's going to confirm the location of Just Dom sitting over on yellow stairs. He's going to call for reinforcements as Devil's going to fill that hole for the time being.
Yeah, I think what Dom needs to potentially do here is just commit to the fact that he needs to rotate completely under as, oh wow, Slasher's going to come in with a double kill, get a headshot there, makes his way into the break room, really lights up the Wamai, and now they're both fighting at about 20 HP, but Dom, I think, should have committed to potentially a late flank at that point in time, or actually, no, he's just going to commit to killing someone, and that's exactly what's going to happen there, evening up the man count just a little bit. Dom is going nuts! He's got a double kill as well, he has eliminated Slasher off the board. So now it really comes down to the battle of the century. Abadu finds the headshot, and Panic is going to be able to find the headshot back onto Dom as well. So very quickly after the diffuser is planted, Visionary wins the game. That is it, and it is not going to be taken into overtime here. Wow, all right. I thought that was going to be a comeback. I thought that was going to be I guess we could call it a quote-unquote reverse sweep, but no, Visionary just decides, okay, we're winning this now, and they do it.
GG's rolling through chat. And honestly, my friend, it was a perfect execute that once again started to degrade because Visionary was getting far too aggressive. They were skipping steps and they didn't understand the map control that their teammates had. That is the most important thing and probably the hardest thing to do when you're in IGL is understanding where all 5 of your teammates, technically all 4 of your teammates are, what crossfires they're holding and how they're holding it. Because, well, Visionary was just a little bit too passive and the defenders utilized their own crossfires, forced the attackers into awkward scenarios, and then started to lose those engagements, bringing it down to a 2v2. But in the end, Hostile Action was unable to peak as a team. Instead, they peaked 1v1s and lost those 1v1s.
Yeah, and I think it was just beautiful positioning there by Visionary. You know, they had one gun pointed the way that it needed to get that first kill towards, I believe that was Bunks or Yellow Hallway, and the other one was just pointed towards Cafe, and boom, boom, pow, that was it. But Ferme, welcome back to the desk, my friend. You've been doing absolutely everything tonight, so shout out to you.
Yeah, a little busy.
How was that last one?
A little like multitasking. I'm unfortunately missing 2 people. I was missing 2 people earlier, but now I'm just missing my assistant who always helps me a lot in Galaxis. Without Galaxis, I feel a little crippled because I need to do twice the amount of workload. But
you know what? Hey,
what's up?
I actually forgot. We didn't ask for proof of Hurricane from Galaxis actually before she left today.
Yeah. I mean, I need proof of Hurricane. So, you know, like if you're not gonna show up to like an important day, to our play day, where is proof of Hurricane? You know, I need to know the proof.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think we've got proof of interview being ready here potentially. Abadu, is going to be the one doing that from Visionary. So we're just trying
All
to
right.
work out the.
Let me get his link. Yeah, let me get his
Oh,
link.
there it is. I see it. It's hiding in the-
Yeah, let's go. Let me just like plug him here. Let's see. I'll see his face right now show
I'm
up.
about to make a Flintstones
Let's
joke. Chief.
go.
I'm about to make a Flintstones joke.
Oh no, more bad jokes rolling on through. That's all we need. We've had some wonderful jokes, some wonderfully bad jokes, a great series in map number 1, map number 2, and here in series number 3. It does go in favor of Visionary. They played strongly, but I have to say, Hostile Action had moments of brilliance. They understood how to attack on Theme Park with the same problem that happened with Visionary as they started to skip steps. They started to make mistakes. And in the end, the team that makes the least amount of mistakes is the team that tends to win.
All right, let's drag him in. Let's get him in here.
I'm getting him right now,
Let's
mate. Don't you
get
worry.
him.
I've got him. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Abadoo. Abadoo, I've got a question real quick for you. Where'd you get your name from? Because it always makes me think, and I want to say this during the cast, but I wasn't going to during the game. Makes me think Abadabadoo, sort of like the Flintstones. Like, is that where that come from, or like, what's your reasoning, my friend?
Yo, do I unmute the thing on the?
No. You leave
Okay.
that muted. We can hear you.
Yeah, no, so I mean, when I was like in elementary school and I got my first Xbox 360 for Christmas, it was a great day, fantastic. I just randomly, I think I was like probably maybe 11, 12 years old, and I just, you know, as a child, I like to just come up with a bunch of random words, and I just came up with Abadoo, and I just made that my gamer tag. Slammed some kids in Modern Warfare 2. You know how it is. And I've been rocking it ever since, man.
The good old days, man. The good old days.
The good old days. The good old
Modern
days.
Warfare 2 party chat. Everyone trying to like 360
Yes, sir.
no scope with the intervention. Oh man, those were the days. But speaking about a particular day, and that is going to be today. How are you feeling? You guys got, I believe, all 6 points from that one. I mean, you took Hostile Actions in regulation for both maps. How's that make you guys feel looking for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, we're feeling great. Coming into the season, we, you know, kind of just planned to have some fun. We didn't want to overstress anything. You know, if things got too stressful, we didn't want to, you know, break our backs trying to figure it out. And so we're just here to have fun, and we're definitely having a lot of fun. And having the points just adds to it, right? So, you know, we're excited. We're pretty happy, hopefully, to make playoffs and be able to play there. And yeah, we're just having a great time.
Awesome, man. You love to see that. So I'm going to leave it to Chief and Ferme for a second to ask their questions if they've got some.
So you've been rotating players on through this roster during qualifiers. You're playing with Jason, your org owner, and your manager. You're playing with Mai last week, but you have a new addition to this roster. How has been the change throughout the past few weeks been for your team?
Yeah, so it's true. We've been moving players around a lot. So coming into this league, we actually, I think like the day before the qualifiers, we were like, hey, like, you guys want to play SCS? And we're like, oh, sure. So we kind of just slapped together most of the players from the old squad, so myself, Panic, and Badger. But we needed some filler, so because a couple of our other players had kind of moved on, working on other things. They have other important things in life. So yeah, we kind of just, for the qualifier, we're like, shoot, we don't have anyone that we really want to, you know, keep on the roster as a permanent player. So we picked up Jason, the org owner, and we did end up finding Momo. He was a great player, awesome, had a lot of fun playing with him. And then he kind of went his own way after the qualifier, so it is what it is. And you know, we're kind of happy with Pixel. We, you know, found someone that we enjoy to play with, and like I said, it's all about having fun. We like playing with Pixel. We have a lot of fun with him, so that's where we're at right now. And yeah, Mai's a good friend of mine. I love the guy. He's a great player. He was kind of filling a spot again, just because we didn't have anyone that we wanted to stay as an actual fifth.
So today was really the battle of the Canadian rosters. I just want to confirm with the newest addition to your team, you guys still maintain your 100% Canadian genes, right?
Right now, we only have 3 core, myself, Panic, and Badger.
Okay, so... Sorry, continue.
Yeah, well, so again, like Pixels, again, we like playing with him. Great guy. He's American, and he's not of age yet. So
okay,
right now, he's in to play with us, have some fun. We like the guy. And then in the future, we do plan on eventually finding our 5th Canadian that we can have fill that spot so we can actually go for CL.
Perfect.
Oh
May is Canadian. He wants to come on through. And before I pass it off to May, I have one more question. We saw HA start to win rounds back. In round number 9, round number 10, both those rounds you guys had man advantage, and even man advantage, and even in round number 11 you had man advantage. Those rounds started to go away. What was going on in those rounds? How are you losing those engagements and basically channeling them to a win?
Yeah. So that's on theme park, right? So basically,
Correct. Yes.
So on theme park, you know, we got defense first, so we just decided, okay, guys, you know, play the game, play this, you know, do what we know, play well. And then we got a bit of a lead. We started having a little bit of fun. And then, you know, we just kind of said to ourselves, all right, well, we got to keep straight. Obviously, these guys are great players. They can come back. And clearly that's what they did. They started really putting up a good fight. And so we just had to kick ourselves back into shape and really make sure we close it out. So
perfect.
Awesome. May, my friend, any questions that you have?
I mean, honestly, I'm just happy to see Visionaries roster back in the scene, because we had you guys in season 3, but we're just a different filler. There was a roster around Speechless, and there was Blades frags for half of the season. But now we have you guys back. You guys battled through the open and close qualifiers all this way with the stand-in of your guys, Oregon or Asian. I'm just happy to have you guys back, and I know you guys because I played with a couple of you before, and I'm just really excited to see you perform on the SCS stage. So every single game that I watch, honestly, it doesn't matter which team, you know, you guys deserve to be here, and I'm excited for more things you're gonna do here. So next week, in fact, you guys can be playing against Wichita Wolves. That is gonna be an exciting one. So I'm pretty sure.
Revenge tour.
Game of the week? Question mark?
Yes, so that's gonna be a rematch. You guys, I mean, the old Visionary was playing them all the way in the season 3, and now you guys played them in close qualifiers, I believe, and you took the victory, right? You lost the first map, but you were able to come back in the second and the third map. You were able to kind of scrape by and make it to the league, right? And Wichita Wolves, obviously, they went through a loser's bracket and still made it. So it's going to be an interesting rematch, right? But in a little bit of different setting, right? It's going to be a best of 2 instead of a best of 3, but that's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. We're all excited. We're ready to play. We're ready to show whatever team we come up against what we got. And I'm loving the league. It's a great league.
Thanks so much, man.
Guys.
It means like utterly, man. Because me, Sako, Chief, like everyone here, right? We're doing this for you guys because we just enjoy your guys' company as well, right? It kind of works both ways, right? We love you guys, and if you guys enjoy our content, it gives us motivation to do it. So, well, thanks so much for joining us, Abadu. It was a pleasure to see you guys play, and we'll see you next week against Wichita Wolves.
Take care, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
See ya. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, I believe that is going to call to a close our first Playday of week number 2. So we will see you all back here tomorrow. It's going to be about the same time, about 5:45 Eastern for that stream to begin. And we've got a couple amazing matches coming up for you as well in that regard. Let me see exactly who we got coming up for you guys here as I check.
Oh, Lycus Empire.
Screen.
So.
Oh yeah, we got Lycus Empire versus Synthetic, and that's going to be the first game of the night. So definitely come check it out at 5:45 Eastern. And with that being said, Chief, May, for everyone at SCS, thank you. Have a great night.